I can cut a promo. I can do the promo from the beginning of the night the line was crossed. The one where whoever the fuck sits down and starts talking, and he's just talking generic shit, and then he keeps
That's
talking
Todd
about the line
Gordon,
being crossed.
the president of ECW.
Yeah, Eastern Championship Wrestling.
That's right.
You know what? This is fitting.
Made mistakes. And then he had us. Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
You guys ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Oh my god!
You're going to tonight.
Check it out. Get my weird smooth. We're about to do it tonight, everyone. Welcome to Getting Some Color. Normally we give you some regular programming, high quality entertainment, talking about our favorite retro and modern wrestling takes. But tonight, the line will be crossed.
Oh, geez.
He just did a TNA cross the line. He just pulled an Orlando Jordan. He's crossing the line. He's going to put whipped cream all over his naked body and pose next to androgynous fucking weirdos and cross the line.
Oh, I'm going to vomit tonight. Oh, that was so bad.
That's my line. Remember when Ric Flair it was laughing?
Oh, yeah.
It was almost laughing with Jay Lee.
Whipped cream titties. I really pissed myself. I'm pretty sure I shot the moonshine back into the beer.
Now all you need is like that fucking warning tape that says cross the line all over you, all over your body.
I don't know. It never stopped fucking Cosby, but
it's like you're a weird gay version of Owen Hart or something. I don't know.
Hold on, I got something kind of.
While Chaz is doing what he's doing, we're live on Couch Entertainment, and also Getting Some Color, and also Twitch.
You shall not cross this line.
Yes, we're crossing all the lines because EC sucks, but we'll get into that when we talk about it.
That's right.
And we're also talking about WCW Super Brawl for 2 Thunder Cages, 2 of them.
2 Thunder Cages, 1 cup.
What the fuck is in this moonshine? It tastes like vomit now.
Oh,
Why is that the aftertaste?
It's called White Lightning. What the fuck did you expect it to taste like?
Wait, what? It tastes like white sewage.
He's gonna puke. He's gonna puke.
He's gonna puke.
I'm gonna do it live. If I'm gonna puke, I'm gonna do it live. So I'll just puke in a fucking bucket.
God damn.
Jesus Christ.
We need some decorum, all right?
Yes.
Not for me. I'm trash.
Decorum. Speaking of decorum, I guess let's get into some ECW. The night the line was crossed in 1994, preferably in February 5th of 1994.
That's right.
We're in the ECW arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's why every time when ECW gets talked about, Pennsylvania is always saying the home of ECW. And I don't like Pennsylvania, preferably Philadelphia. Philadelphia can go fuck themselves as far as sports teams fans.
We agree, right? FTE. Fuck the Eagles.
Yes, fuck the Eagles.
FTE, baby.
I don't really have any feelings about that shit. I only watch real sports like wrestling.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah.
I watch real sports like wrestling and motorsports.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you were gonna say, but never mind.
Warning to our viewers: if you're looking for like a very, very deep critique of fucking ECW night the line was crossed, I'm sad to say I watched this and it was really hard to critique. Mainly because of the camera, the lone cameraman that was like, I don't know, in the top of the bleachers of a fucking gymnasium, because I think that's where they were as far as the cameraman. And it's just a straight hard cam, which we'll get into, I guess, kind of. I only rated the last 2 matches because I felt like those were the only matches that were rateable, sort of say. Even though
I rated several matches.
I rated every match.
Well,
one of them was a squash, though.
Yeah.
let's give the official unofficial here. Just this is a full disclosure for those listening, watching. Anyone experiencing this in any way that you can. Maybe you're tasting it. I hope you are. I can taste it.
You sure can with that
If
moonshine.
if you actually watch this and you wanted to hear something that's going to be high quality, analytical critique of 90s I'll call it mid indie Eastern wrestling, then this is not the show to listen to or watch. But if you want to be entertained for the next, I don't know, 30 to 60 minutes, then strap in. This is going to be a fucking brilliant ride.
Yeah.
I'm base as fuck.
It's like the thing is just with the lack of production quality and like the way some of these matches go because of the lack of production quality, but also because of the booking. There's just not a lot to work with here because the whole issue, like, bury the lead a little bit. It's hard to follow this as a viewer. You can't. There's no thread to follow to be able to form like a good opinion, let alone like have a match that makes sense on like a television screen. So
yeah, I'm sure if like I almost said if I was alive. I was alive, but I was too little to possibly go into a live event, especially ECW. I'm sure my parents would never take me to an ECW fucking live promotion as a child.
Oh God.
But if I was an adult in 1994, I'd probably have a good time because either A, I'm probably high or drunk while I went to this fucking pay-per-view. But I'm sure people had fun there because literally the wrestlers were in the crowd. Majority of this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think being there in person, it would probably come off better, especially with all the fucking chaos going on because it's like the shit's spilling out in the crowd constantly, and it's a small arena, so it's like a very we'll say intimate setting.
Well, Tanaka did not give a fuck. He just showed up in street clothes for one of his matches.
Oh, we'll get to Pat Tanaka.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. I'll get to it in a sec.
I was gonna say we can go ahead and start, I guess.
Oh, I want to give me a chance. Listen, I feel like I'm gonna get passed up here. Pass to me. You can actually take this off. You can pass. You can pass to old Chaz.
I just fucking noticed,
buddy. What really? Yeah. This is across the line. I crossed it. It's done. It's my line for darts because I am sophisticated. So anyway, I agree with the points that you all had made. Production quality definitely. Just something we could sit here and rag on, but it's not very fair to them given the time and everything. Yeah. So I would totally agree. Being at a show, whether it meant that I just experienced it live because of the setting, or if I was just blitz as fucking being there, it probably was really fun to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
However, because they're shooting it, maybe you guys have experienced this. Did you guys ever like do any theater or ever do like a play when you were in school or like graduation? Someone like videotaped a talent show or something, and then you went back and watched it. That's how this kind of felt production wise.
A little bit, yeah.
Because it's like one camera just sat there and just moving.
I don't even know if like the camera was like even an actual production like video production quality camera. It could have been like a goddamn VHS camcorder. For all I know,
Clark Griswold just sitting up there with the fucking camcorder, just
like maybe it wasn't like a cheap one, like $150 RCA one, but still, it's a VHS camcorder.
I still stand by this because ECW does get good when Attitude Era happens. So this felt like an alpha test of like the Attitude Era.
Maybe. Maybe.
It's because they were trying so hard, super fucking hard to be edgy with the commentating, with the blood and everything. It's early, but let's get into it. So in the beginning, as Chaz was doing his promo early, and he was being like Todd Gordon, who was, I guess, went into like a school because there's like a map and like a Macintosh right behind him.
Yeah, what?
Like the morning announcements.
Yeah.
That was his day job when he was a school teacher. I don't know.
Yeah.
I made that up. I don't know if that's fucking true or not, but yeah.
But he's pretty much saying like he's doing the catchphrase, you know, cross the line ECW, and then launches the, you know, the pay-per-view. And then we cut from that to like a shitty hard cam of Mr. Hughes. I'm sorry, the roughneck Mr. Hughes with Wild Man Sal Belamo.
Belamo, yeah. And by the way, for anybody that doesn't know what hard cam means, it's basically just a camera kind of out in the stands. It just kind of points straight directly at the ring.
Yeah, it's a fixed camera.
It's like a flat angle of you seeing the ring and the arena behind it, more or less.
Yeah, I mean that's what basically it's a fixed camera. Like
Yeah.
it can move and swivel depending on how it's set, but otherwise no one's picking it up and actively moving around with it, which is why everything is shot and moved and zoomed in and everything.
It's kind of why it's called hard camera, because it doesn't really move.
I just imagine them with a JVC fucking camera on a tripod, just like swiveling that shit. That's fucking Sandman's in the crowd.
It's probably what they were doing, but like, yeah, so like Joey Styles is on commentary on his own, and that's something that like this whole promotion was known for through its entire run. I think Joey Styles probably had guest commentators sometimes later. I'm not sure about that, but he was doing commentary by himself the entire time he was there, more or less. And I was kind of curious to see how this would turn out, because I watched random ECW shows before in the past, but like they didn't stick. It's been too long. I can't really remember. But it was interesting.
So it's Phil, on what you just said, the revered like period of time when people really started to pick up an ECW was gaining ground. They were doing guest spots, and like you have actually Steve Austin, but he was like still injured and came to ECW. When he first came in, he was actually doing a lot of promos at first, and that was basically Paul Heyman's way of giving him a spotlight to show this guy is more than just, I can go out there and wrestle. Like, this guy's the real deal. He was really sold on him. So that was a part of it. Later on, Pillman goes crazy and is out there, but he occasionally would come out. But it was funny. His stuff was more that spontaneous. He would come out and decide he was the announcer. Yeah. And it was kind of unhinged. It was brief. Same, like they did a lot of that where people would come in, and that's actually a trope that wasn't done very much in other situations, but they actually made it a thing where when you're feuding with someone, while that's all going on, and they're facing someone else, they would come out and actively talk. Like now I know it's happened before. It's not like that they're like the first person to ever do it, but they really made it like a regular thing, especially with Raven. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of neat that they would do that later. This is awful. Sorry. Does Joey Styles have multiple personality disorder?
Yes. He kind of acted like it during the show. Yeah,
well, 8 of the 9 people he I guess assumes overslept and left him hanging. What the fuck? It was awful.
I mean, I don't think anybody gave him any direction, which, we always say, let the commentators kind of do their own thing.
I'm not judging against him because, I don't think I could do a better job. Well, maybe. I don't know. Objectively, it's really bad. But I feel bad for the guy because he's stuck, like, he's having to do all of it. And he's, like, mixing the play-by-play with the color commentary. And it's so hard to follow.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. What probably Joey Styles did is they probably gave him 2 types of drugs, acid and cocaine. And instead of sniffing the cocaine, he put the cocaine on his tongue like acid, and he sniffed the papers of acid through his nose. I
came up to Paul Heyman and said, "Am I getting paid tonight?" And Paul Heyman was actively eating a hot dog. He took a bite and then handed him the hot dog and said, "There's your pay tonight." And he said, "Fuck it, we're getting high."
Sure did, because.
Whew.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Fucking Mr. Hughes just comes out with this guy named Jason who looks like a wannabe Brutus Beefcake.
He looks like Paul Heyman's younger brother to me.
Yeah.
Like if he had a younger brother that was like kind of more, not as, he wasn't fat, you know, and he was kind of like vaguely in shape.
Mhm.
They call him the world's sexiest man later.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he really though?
Yeah.
You know,
Slightly above average looking guy comes out and they're like, world's sexiest man.
Yeah.
Chaz brought up the good point, you know, like with the whole talent show thing. I want to up it. It's like, whose line is it anyway when they have to do the props and stuff? That's what that's what they're doing with like their outfits, because everybody changes their outfits, especially Jason throughout the night.
So there's this Sal Belamo guy, and he looks like a fucking Roman gladiator or some shit. Like he looks indie-rific as fuck. It looks like he used to be somebody you'd see in an indie show right now.
He's mixing like all Mediterranean cultures together. He's doing a little bit of Greek, a little bit of Italy, Sicily. He kind of looks like a hairy ass minotaur.
He's trying to be Boromir from fucking Lord of the Rings animated movie in the 70s.
It was really weird though, because I swear to God that fucking like Joey Styles said he was Hungarian or some shit. I'm like, why the fuck is he dressing up like this? It's stupid.
And what's funny is like later on he shows up because like when Tommy Dreamer's like fucking bleeding to death. he's out there in his little fucking Roman shit or Greek, whatever.
Yeah, way to make it serious, you know. But
yeah.
Hey. So there's not much to say about this other than, man, poor Mr. Hughes. He got downgraded to ECW.
Yeah.
Undertaker sent him to the fucking seventh circle of hell, and it turns out ECW was doing a show there.
Oh shit! But Mr. Hughes kicked the crap out of this weirdo, and there's not much to say. Like he does his Mr. Hughes shit, where he does all his power moves and shit, and just overpowers the guy. And like I don't know, this guy tried to come back a little bit, but it didn't go anywhere. And Mr. Hughes hit a sidewalk slam for 3, and
yeah.
Because Jason, the sexiest man alive, that's a fucking lie. It's Ravishing Rick Rude.
It wasn't even a sidewalk slam. He barely hit the fucking curb.
Well, that guy sucks. He didn't jump right.
Yeah, fat toga. You know what's most notable about this match? What cage match has this marked at 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and I swear this match took at least 6 months.
It feels like time dilated. It's like
time was a man-made construct during this fucking pay-per-view. Jesus Christ!
You know the movie Interstellar, where the planet's near the black fucking hole?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
We've crossed singularity.
I'm not even lying. Like I count, and it sounds weird. It's a weird thing of me assessing my own mortality. Before I watched this show, I had approximately 17 gray hairs in my face and head. And that doubled after watching this.
It's like that meme of like, this is how long Roman Reigns has been champion. It shows him and all of his hair is black. And now he's got a few gray hairs in his beard a little bit. He looks like he's got a few lines. He's aged. But this is squash.
Yes, squash.
Chaz, you said you rated it though.
I did. Remember, I told you I started rating squashes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Either squash can be good or suck. This is a stank squash.
I'll just back you up on that because I don't. I'll just agree. Generally, we agree about squashes. So
yeah. Spoilers for everyone listening out there. I don't have anything on this show rated above 4. So yeah, you just keep listening.
Wait until my
rating. Real negative, but in a good way. We're gonna try to make it fun.
All right.
I tried to make it into a drinking game the second time around. Oh, I guess I should say that. We were talking about that before. I had to watch this show 3 times to actually get to watch all of it, if that tells you how bad it was. I fell asleep twice.
I'm so sorry.
I picked my nose throughout the whole fucking pay-per-view.
I got all the way up
to
the main event. I stopped, and then the next day I went to finish it, and I fell asleep in the middle of it. And then I had to go the next day. I picked up where I left off and then finished it. So
why is the main event an hour?
I mean, it's okay. What about the Iron Man match and shit? It's fine. It's just that it was fucking terrible because you only had one camera.
Yeah.
So
Take one camera is not the only reason the show sucks.
oh no, but it's a big contributing factor.
I know. Yeah.
So next
Continue.
match, we got Sandman and Tommy Cairo versus Rockin' Rebel and Pitbull with Jason, the sexiest man alive. It's a double dog collar match. So both teammates are stuck to each other with a dog collar. And I don't know who Tommy Cairo is. Rockin' Rebel is apparently Doink, Matt Bourne. So I didn't know that. So it's like, okay.
And he teamed up with that piece of trash.
Pitbull, I mean, what little bit I saw of Pitbull, I thought he was okay. Like what you could fucking comprehend of him. What the fuck is Sandman wearing? Like, what?
Like I can think this whole fucking match.
He was wearing like this weird ass, like it was more than a singlet, but also it wasn't at the same. It's like, and it had like a zip up thing.
He looked like the pre-evolution of Glacier.
Yeah. Like the evolution stalled out, like his evolution got aborted and it produced some fucked up mutant or whatever.
He was supposed to get cold, but he wasn't cold, so he was lukewarm.
He was like lukewarm.
It was like a smaller version of Big Show's singlet before he left WWE.
It was Little Show.
the giant.
Little Show.
Yeah. Sandman's a terrible wrestler. Can we all agree with that?
Yeah, but that was never his thing. He was always like that brawler. Like he was never technical. Like he was never super technical. His thing was he got over with the crowd. He's a brawler. He did his whole drinking thing.
Yeah. He got over with Metallica, fucking kendo sticks, and beer.
As weird as it sounds, because most trailer parks would approve of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we could all agree with that. Sandman was the trailer park Stone Cold Steve Austin, if that makes sense.
No, that's correct.
Like a kid from Trailer Park Boys grew up and became a pro wrestler, and that's the Sandman.
It's like, what if Stone Cold and Raven had a kid? It was Sandman.
Kinda. So I noticed this keeps happening though. It stops after this. I wrote this down because it's like in the first match, the ring announcer was trying to announce everybody, and they fucking interrupted him and just started the match. And then they did it again here, and I'm like, why the fuck can the guy not do his job? Whatever.
Because they only had him for like 2 hours, and they had to make sure to get that cut.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear. Like only maybe 3 people got paid for this whole show. Everyone else got paid in pot and cheesesteaks. Like catering was a fucking mess back there.
Sounds very probable for this company.
So that's 100%. Like, yeah, I can't actually confirm, but they're definitely Paul Heyman definitely paid people in cheesesteaks and pot. Yeah, see, I'm already slurring my words. Fuck me. So cheesesteaks.
Do you want to hear my notes for this match?
Steaks. Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
So, number 1, they automatically go in the crowd. Oh no. 2, man, Sandman sucks. 3, man, Sandman can't set a table. He still sucks. 4, Sandman couldn't break a table. He's terrible. And number 5, I wrote Rockin' Rebel's cool, and it's kind of funny, like finding out that it's Matt Bourne, like my brother Doink. Why'd you go backwards, man?
My brother in Christ.
What have they done to my boy?
Yeah.
Look at my boy. They massacred my boy.
But overall, like the camera guy couldn't keep up because both teams were like in opposite parts of the arena. So like if you were focusing on one group, the other group you couldn't see what they were doing. But every time they focused more on Sandman because he was doing more than the other group. But I would rather watch fucking Rocket Rebel and stuff do something.
I also want to point out that Joey Styles during this spent, like percent-wise, he spent more time talking about Jason, who came back out, than he did about the match itself or anyone else involved in the match. He just kept talking about Jason.
Yeah, it's weird.
That was so weird. I don't have like a bit here. I really, it was very weird. He just, Oh yeah, he went to the back. He's the sexiest man alive. He got changed really quick because he's got all those cool clothes. He just kept talking about that while the match was going on. Like they're beating the hell out of each other and out in the area. You can't even see like what's going on, and he's talking about Jason. What's he gonna wear next?
Oh, I have to make a correction here. I was confused because I was listening to some podcasts and some guys were talking about how they went to some of the early ECW shows and they're like, yeah, Rock and Rebel. They were making fun of him. Apparently, this guy did play Doink at some point, but it's not Matt Bourne. So I misconstrued that.
Oh well, he's still good anyway. Like out of those 4 people, like Rock and Rebel was decent.
So I think he was like one of the clone Doinks or something.
Oh, that would make sense.
By the way, this guy killed his wife and killed himself by gunshot in 2018. I just want to throw that out there.
Another father of the year?
Jesus.
No. But anyway.
That was a dark
family man.
So here's
Rock and Redacted.
Rock and Redacted. Here's my notes about this match. Like Dub said, they all just like fucking scatter like cockroaches when you turn the light on and go out in the fucking light.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Rock and Rebel though, he looked like a Midnight Express washout, like somebody that wanted to be in the Midnight Express, but he got cut because Jim Cornette was like, "You fucking suck too much, goddamn it, get the fuck out of my way." It's just like he told him no.
I think I know what happened actually. Sorry, I'm back. I'm still caught up on the whole murder suicide thing, but yeah. I think he watched this start to finish and was just like, I can't live on. And he was like, I gotta take my wife with me. He like made a pact with Satan. He was like, we'll come to hell. I'll +1. I get 2 tickets. Yeah, she's coming with me.
+1.
Yeah. Sometimes you get that RSVP to hell, and you got to take someone with you.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rock and Rebel got busted open pretty quickly. Oh, by the way, this is who's chained to each other. Pitbull's chained to Tommy Cairo. Sandman's chained to Rock and Rebel.
I forgot this was a double dog collar match.
Yeah, which is like, goddamn, why?
What's the booking for this show? There was no forklift.
It's kind of dumb to even ask why, though, because it's ECW, because they just, like, put a hat on a hat all the time, but, like, so to speak.
Yeah, but not yet. They're not even extreme yet. They're
trying to be right now.
They're just bullshit.
Nobody knows how to use a chair in this match, I noticed, because they all pick it up and use it upside down. Like they're swinging it by the back end of it and hitting you with the seat.
Yeah.
Every single one of them did this. And,
someone did it. I think it was Sandman. He did it once and he hit, but he had the chair he had it oriented so that, you know how you're supposed to hold it so that the chair always stays flat?
Yep.
He had it turned the other way, and it unfolded as it hit the guy. I was like, fuck, shit, that looked like it hurt.
It probably hurt.
Yeah, probably hurt more than the other. Like, I remember seeing a thing about how when you take shots like that, the main way to do it is you're supposed to hit someone in the area that you had the most surface area, which physically it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
If you hit a flat area, the shock is absorbed and your damage is kind of spread out, so you're less likely to have something where if you hit something more with a point, there's more force directed at the point, so that's where it's going to hurt more, and that's how people get hurt. Fuck.
If it looks like shit, it probably hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all chaos. Sandman was fucking around the table, like Dubs was saying, and we come back, and like the cameraman just switches back to the ring, and Pitbull's trying to pin Tommy Cairo, who's fucking bleeding, and then Tommy Cairo hits a belly suplex on Pitbull, and then Sandman comes over and helps pin him. He stacks him up 1, 2, 3. You couldn't follow any of this shit. It was just chaos, but it was mercifully short. 3 out of 10.
Wow.
I'm rating
nicer than me.
Retarded.
Rated R for retarded.
Well, see, the thing about it was whenever you could actually watch something other than them like fucking not using a chair right, the brawling and stuff was okay. Tommy Cairo looks like he knows what he's doing, kind of, and so did Pitbull. Like the 2 guys that I actually wanted to watch work, the camera wasn't focusing on them the most, stupidly.
Mm-hmm. If I had to give a rating, 2 out of 10. still retarded. I want to emphasis on the R.
I'm going to bring it down to 2.9 just for solidarity. Now that I mentioned
Yeah, I mean, I gave it to Michael Jordan. I gave it the 2.3.
because I can't really. Because that time I was like, that sucked pretty bad, but like I've seen worse than that too at the same time. So I see worse next. Worst is next.
All right, yeah.
So we're just gonna roll into it.
I enjoyed this match. This was the high point of the night for me.
Oh no, not me.
At this point, I gave up. So
we're just gonna roll into it. You don't have anything else to say about Chaz?
Nah, fuck this whole show. We honestly, at any point, if you guys will just hit skip when we go to WCW, this show sucks. Never watch it. But if we're gonna, we're gonna get there. I'm gonna pull something later, but I'm saving it. Just go on.
All right. So this is Public Enemy. Oh, what, Dubs?
Smoky Mountain. Wait, the Bruise Brothers came from Smoky Mountain Wrestling?
Not that I know of. They were in WCW, I thought.
No, they said Smoky Mountain at the beginning of it. They talked about Smoky Mountain Wrestling. They currently were working in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I forgot.
And
it's been a few weeks
yeah, and if you remember, this actually makes a lot of sense. Jim Crockett had a lot of good deals going on at the time, and he had wrestlers going back and forth because this is how or Cornette, because he has all the gangsters eventually end up going to ECW. Like they end up like working there a few times, but they're still in Smoky Mountain, and then finally they decide the money's better, so they go there. Probably because they hated being called hard R's and threatened to be fucking hanged and lynched and shit outside in Tennessee. But also, Chris Jericho and Lance Storm actually did their thing when they were what was their team called?
Thrill Seekers.
Thrill Seekers, thank you. Yeah, the Thrill Seekers, they were doing their thing originally in Smoky Mountain, and they got their start in ECW through Cornette having this partnership.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there are a lot of people that jump back and forth. So, it happens. So, yeah.
Yeah. I just remember seeing the Bruise Brothers on ECW TV in '93, and they were like another one of those teams where it's like, look, they're identical twins, Tony. And like when they were doing that fucking shit because of the Cole twins.
Tony.
And then,
I look the same, Tony.
But they get in the ring, it's no DQ, and then they scatter like cockroaches again and brawl in the crowd, and there's only one camera. So, like, it's the same shit again.
Mm-hmm.
Can't follow it. This time, though, it was a bunch of sloppy fighting. Like, really bad. Like, people were
Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Figure.
I mean, I don't really remember much Public Enemy at all. So,
I have, and they fucking suck.
Clearly.
They were very bad.
ECW to WWF.
My favorite match, Public Enemy, is whenever they face the APA as a punishment, and the APA just like beat the fuck out of them for 5 minutes.
Seen that. It's fucking brutal.
It is really fucking brutal.
It's probably the best match they ever had.
Probably right.
Oh my god, fucking Farouk beat the white privilege out of these motherfuckers. Yeah.
They were privileged to get their ass kicked by him, in my opinion.
Actually, that's true. Ron Simmons is fucking man.
Damn. There's just like they separate and go to different parts of the arena. It's like they both went the opposite direction, both sides, and like really sloppy fighting, missing punches, fucking not selling shit. Not using weapons correctly, like we were talking about earlier. All kinds of stuff. I noticed one of the Bruise Brothers has like a goddamn SS tattoo on his arm, and I was like, "Whoa,
yes,
okay, that dude's been into prison or some shit." Apparently, so,
he's a fucking wood brother.
Apparently, so yeah, I didn't notice that. Maybe because they made him wear like fucking sleeves or some shit, some kind of like elbow pad that would cover that fucking shit up on WCW. But the finish is one of the Public Enemies hits one of the Bruise Brothers in the back with a 2x4 and pins him, and it's fucking terrible. I gave this a 1.6 out of 10.
1.2 out of 10 retarded.
Oh, see that? Okay, so sometimes something is so fucking bad that it's kind of funny. So I laughed through a lot.
I did.
Full disclosure, I see that it's bad. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
You guys are really gonna judge me here. This was my highest rated match of the card.
You really See, I'm already judging. I'm sorry.
But sometimes I was already so pissed about how the first two matches went. I just enjoyed watching really stupid. I don't know. I almost thought it kind of looked like a live action version of that episode of South Park where they're like trying to pretend to be wrestlers. I don't know. It's so bad.
Oh man.
I gave this a 3.2.
This was not the best match on the show, by the way.
Well, that's subjective.
No.
Objectively, all of this show sucked. So
no, there was one thing that was okay in this show.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. See, you forgot. You forgot about the only wrestling match in this whole show.
Actually, I fell asleep the first time. I didn't write a rating for this. I forgot this existed. You're talking about I know what you're talking about. We'll get there.
There's one lone hero in this show. Okay,
yes.
so
and he's got a mullet and he's fucking massive. You're actually right. All right, I take that back. I take back what I said. I'm gonna write down. I gotta write down what I'm gonna put. I'm gonna give that an A for awesome.
all right, that's fair. That's
okay.
Fair.
All right. Whenever we get here, I'm gonna interrupt whoever starts to talk next. So just a warning. Why did I fucking tell you I was gonna interrupt you? Goddamn, I'm drunk. I'll just do it now.
So,
all right. Is everybody giving their score right? It was like 1.7 and 1.2 or something like that.
1.6 and 1.2, right?
2.
Bubs?
Yeah, close enough. All right, and that doesn't even add up to my score. Jesus Christ, that's bad. All right, I have something I want to propose.
Okay.
I want to propose that I don't know how many times we want to do it in a given month, year, however many times. I propose that we give a hall pass or a skip.
I mean, we had like a policy, the 3 strikes policy, but I was going to bring this up.
I didn't mean like that. I meant like I want to defend a match, and I just want to skip it rather than we rate it and we just move on. Because I just kept trying to watch this next match, and I couldn't. And
I still want to talk about it because I fucking hate it.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's the hall pass. It's like.
Well, I want to bring up some points. I guess it
doesn't matter then.
You can hall pass yourself out and just not say anything about this, if that's what you want to do.
Because
I have a feeling that we're just making toddler Chaz feel better about himself. Fuck it. I'll give you my score. We'll go on. We'll talk about it. We don't need to hall pass. I'm a man. Let's do it.
Tommy Dreamer versus
Snuka killed his girlfriend.
Yes, Superfly Jimmy Snuka with Hunter Q Robbins the third.
Where the fuck that is?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that guy. I mean, I've never heard of Jason either.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Can you explain to me why is
Tommy Dreamer from Dreamland?
Well, let's bring that. Let's bring that up. Tommy Dreamer is dressed up like a fucking backup dancer for Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I was gonna say that. Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, dude, he looked amazing shape. Like, what happened? Did he get injured and just get fat?
Well, I mean, if you get paid in pot and cheese sticks, eventually it catches up to you.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't afford steroids to fucking balance it out.
He's on that fucking Paul Heyman fucking workout regimen. So there's only so much you can do.
Motherfucker was wearing parachute pants and Chippendale suspenders, though. For real.
The suspenders for real. That was the best thing ever.
I was like, what the hell is he wearing? Oh my god.
Jimmy Snuka was high on cocaine looking to murder someone. In his
he had the steroid belly. He looked like a what Chaz say Hogan was when he got off the gas. He looked like a deflated hot dog or some shit. Snuka looked the same way. He actually looks worse than Hogan off the gas. He looked way worse.
He did. He looked like fucking 3-day-old Tongan sausage. Just
That's pretty good.
yeah, you're welcome.
I'm starting to think O.J. Simpson never killed that lady, and it was Jimmy Snuka.
Oh Lord,
Oh,
that's a great one. That's another. We had two fucking bangers in a row.
So for 20 fucking wait, no, I'm probably exaggerating.
10
15
minutes,
minutes,
15 seconds.
15 minutes.
Not even 15 minutes, 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute match. I know. Time is not a real thing. We made it up.
And they were doing absolutely nothing. Like, all they were doing, well, that's me exaggerating again. They were doing something. They were just going around being like, hey, man, fight me. And then, like, Snuka was yelling at fans, and Tommy Dreamer's like, I'm going to be a fan guy. I'm a face. And I'm going to put on his beanie. So
Yeah.
he puts on the beanie, goes in there, and this is where
His ass kicked.
So, if you're ready to hear this, there's a reason I wanted to pass this. One,
Okay.
low-key, I mean, we're going to talk about it, but the reason I initially thought that, other than just being like a little drunk at the moment, Tommy Dreamer, I have a soft spot for Tommy Dreamer, despite he's done some dumb shit, but we're all human. But that man is like the heart of wrestling in a lot of ways. That being said, he has actually talked about this match.
Mm.
There's a reason why there was that weird standoff that took so long. Jimmy Snuka was legit. I know you talked about him being high on cocaine, but legitimately, Jimmy Snuka was in fucking outer space during this match. Was not fucking on planet Earth, and a lot of what they were doing was literally just waiting for him to feel like he was oriented so they could actually start and do the match. That's why it took 7 minutes for them to actually wrestle, and then it was a 3-minute squash.
Okay.
So it's like, Jeff Hardy and Sting.
Yeah, well, the reason I know this is in interviews, Tommy Dreamer actually talked about, and he was actually asked specifically, you've wrestled a lot of people, you've wrestled a lot of legends. They asked him, who is your favorite legend or hero that you watched growing up wrestle with, and what was your most disappointing legend? And he covered, his hero. I want to say Ric Flair was the hero, and I don't even remember how he ended up wrestling Flair. I think it had something to do with Invasion Angle, but I don't even know if he actually wrestled him or not. But Snuka was his most disappointing, one of his or at least that was the one in the interview that he brought up. And it was because it was effectively Sting versus Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
But Snuka has all that influence, and Tommy Dreamer's like a fucking kid. He's like, I have no idea what to do.
It was like the opposite of that situation where Sting was, yeah, Jeff's like a big guy, big star, but Sting is like a legend, and he fucking saw what was going on and ended it quick. It's really weird. I shared that in the chat, like not even really thinking about that, but
it is kind of weird, yeah, but that's what happened here is that he's just all fucked up, and Tommy Dreamer's just letting him get oriented, and I guess Snuka's like really aggressive, so like he's really worried that Snuka's gonna try to fucking kill him. So
he's clearly capable of doing.
Yeah, he's just waiting for him to realize, okay, we're not actually fighting for our lives here. This is wrestling. It's okay. And then he's trying to like find a way to play it off. So really, that's part of the reason why it's like good for him. He found a way to try to make this seem somewhat kayfabe believable, even though it was kind of bad.
He navigated the waters and got to a point where we're going to have a wrestling match.
You talk about the wrestling equivalent of walking on fucking eggshells, right?
Yeah.
Like he managed to do it. The mental gymnastics, right? This match is, I mean, it is what it is. I've already kind of covered why it is and why I would defend it, but it was still bad.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of Tommy Dreamer, and he started bleeding. Like, maybe he was trying to murder him.
Yeah, what you pretty much said was almost the entire match, like up to that point where he gets the beanie. I always call it a toboggan because I'm from West Virginia. That's what we call it.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, that's what it is, yeah.
But Snuka started punching the shit out of him, and then he Superfly splashes him like 3 fucking times, and then Tommy was like coughing up blood,
Mhm.
pinned him, and so it's like it was a squash.
Yeah.
And then like Snuka kept beating on him after he was done, and he headbutted the referee just blatantly.
He was trying to kill the referee too.
And then Todd Gordon came out, the guy that owns the company and shit, and he fucking assaulted him.
What's interesting there is now, like, hearing Tommy's account of it, I don't know how much of that's real and how much of that is kayfabe. Also, there's a point where Tommy talks about how he thinks that Snuka's actually going to try to kill him on one of the Superfly splashes, because you notice like one of the other times he goes to pin him and he gets out, Snuka actually takes his elbow and like rubs it against his head and throws him down, and is like, "The fuck you kick out for?" And like he's like, "Oh shit, he's gonna kill me. I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna die in front of all these people."
Well, it's funny because Joey Styles like played up the fact that nobody ever kicks out of a Superfly's finish. Oh man,
Forgot what he was supposed to do.
I thought you were gonna say like fucking Tommy Dreamer was worried like when he was gonna go to the top ropes and pull out a fucking knife and then they come out with a splash on him.
He just didn't know what he was gonna do, but yeah.
Mm.
Whew.
So,
What a match.
Yeah. So do you think it gets better from here?
Hey, it does for like 10 seconds in this next match. It was amazing for 10 seconds.
Did you guys give this a rating?
It was a squash.
Oh, I gave it it was really long and weird, and it was a squash, but I gave it a rating. I gave it a 2.7.
That's fine.
Well, I'm only out of time. I know it. Again, we're talking about a squash match, but it was just over 10 minutes.
Well, it was a squash. It wasn't supposed to be 10 minutes, but Snuka was he was stoned out of his gourd.
But that's why I gave it a rating, because why the fuck is a squash going over 10 minutes? Because some person in the ring was not able to operate heavy machinery. He should not have been in there.
He couldn't move the Tongan sausage correctly.
Rating's a rating. So, I mean, if I went to work and I was high as fuck, I'd still get fucking reviewed, and they'd be like, he didn't do his job correctly. Yeah, he put a fucking thermometer up my kid's ass.
And Superfly splashed him.
Yeah, threw him off the fucking exam table. 1 out of 5
until he coughed up blood.
I fucking hated his beanie.
Yeah.
So, next match. This is Tasmaniac and Kevin Sullivan with Woman. Woman versus the Sheik and Pat Tanaka. So
the original Sheik, by the way.
Yeah, the original Sheik from Michigan, from the Detroit fucking territory.
Yeah, this is Sabu's uncle. Yeah. That's what I
thought. He trained Sabu. He trained Rob Van Dam.
And the Tasmaniac is the fucking Queen's Taz. It's Taz.
Right now, he's a Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
Pat Tanaka just looks like a fucking fan, though.
Yeah.
He looks like a guy. He looks like some dude from the crowd. Like, seriously.
He looks like a tourist.
He's wearing jorts and, like, some kind of crazy shirt with, like, a fucking wizard on it or some shit. And I don't know. It looks like he'd be at a Pearl Jam concert, not a fucking
I almost wonder if he, like, was not originally supposed to be on the card, and the last minute they're like, "Hey, can you wrestle real quick? It's gonna be a squash."
Sure, bro.
And he was like, "Yeah," and he just went out there.
So
here's your cheesesteak and your pot.
For sure, definitely the pot part. But it breaks down again. God damn it. Taz and Tanaka fight in the ring while Sullivan and Sheik are fighting outside. And they're brawling out there, like, but they mostly kind of keep it close to the ring. And Sheik's going crazy, and he can barely move, but he's still trying to be crazy and shit. He's like moving the rail around everywhere and causing a bunch of chaos. And Taz has Tanaka in like a fucking half crab for like the entirety of the match until its conclusion. And then like Sheik is out there fighting with Kevin Sullivan, and I think Sullivan got busted open at some point. And then out of nowhere, he goes, whoof, and he fucking throws a fireball, like a massive goddamn fireball. It's like 15 feet long or something.
Yeah, he Dalsum, the fucking guy.
And he did it again. He did it like the other direction too. I was like, yes! I was like, that was fucking awesome. And then it was over.
Yeah.
Instead of like Chris Jericho fucking around, he can't light the shit. It's just, or whatever the fuck. No, man, the Sheik actually threw a goddamn like flame, and it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tanaka pinned Taz because Sheik threw a fireball at the back of Taz, and he was like, fuck. So that was it. It was unfollowable chaos, but I got to see the Sheik throw 2 fireballs. 3 out of 10. Honestly, the fireballs are the only thing that made it that high.
Yeah, the fireball was like the only cool thing. My ignorant self like it was like, hey, it's awesome. Throw the fireball. So I gave it a 2.7 out of 10.
Oh yeah, I didn't give it a rating. I just realized I fell asleep the first time, and the second time I watched it, I was like, wait, there was fireballs.
Good ones too, like the best. Like those are like primo
Yeah.
fireballs. Seriously.
Yeah, like if we're giving individual rating like that, they were like a solid 8 out of 10 fireballs.
That was, you just saw like the master. Like I don't know if he really innovated that technique or not. I kind of feel like maybe he did. If he didn't, he fucking mastered it though.
I'll keep it fair. I'm gonna give him a 3 out of 10
There it is.
because the match was absolute dog piss, but those fireballs were cool.
They were legit. So,
Oh man!
After that, we got the only wrestling match in the whole show. It was JT Smith versus Mike Awesome.
You say that, and I just want to point out this match was 2 minutes flat.
It was.
It was, but it was a wrestling match.
It was actually a match you could follow, though.
It was a match in the ring, and there was actually fucking body slams. There was no fireballs. There was no tables. There was no...
Fireballs are cool, by the way.
They are cool, but I'm just saying they didn't have to get, and I'm not saying it's hokey, but it's not... Like they didn't have to do a spot fest in any way to. Well, let me retract that. There was a spot fest, but it was funny.
So, like, I guess JT Smith's like a rookie or something. I think he'd been wrestling with ECW for a little bit, but he's still like a new guy.
He's very green, you could tell.
Yeah, you kind of can. So, like, he attacks Mike Awesome from behind, and he hits like a big jumping so-back kick. It's like something RVD would do. And then Awesome just turns around and clotheslines the piss out of him, turning him inside out. And then he does it again. And then he hits like a big overhead belly suplex, and Smith is like thrown out of the ring pretty much. Almost. I think he almost went over the rope, but he got caught is what happened. And then Awesome just clotheslines him out on the floor. And that motherfucker, the 6'6" big mullet motherfucker, does a suicide dive to him and like almost broke his back on the railing because like he hit the railing and his back bit like at this really awful angle. It looked like it legit hurt. But Awesome gets him back in the ring and he goes for an Awesome bomb, but JT hooks an inside cradle and gets 3. He pinned him. And I was like, whoa, like, that was a match.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of cool. Like, some cool stuff happened. I almost watched a guy get fucking paralyzed. And
We're going to see that again later in WCW.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Awesome seems pretty reckless in the ring, but damn it, he's entertaining.
Yeah, and he's always been a draw with ECW, by the way. Like, he always gets a big-ass pop and shit. But I guess he was trying to, like, be like Jimmy Snuka and try to attack the referee. And he gets on the top rope. And the turnbuckle just fucking breaks. And he falls down. And I want to give credit where credit due. He fucking laid there.
He sold it. He like went for a splash, like the super stinger splash, and then it was just snap, face plant. He face planted in the middle of the ring.
And they cut away.
It was either a great sell or he was concussed.
Yeah.
Or he was just really embarrassed.
That is also possible. Yes.
Uh, he picks himself up and is pissed off. It's just really funny because it was supposed to be like this big moment where it's like, God damn, this guy's crazy. He's killed that poor referee. I mean, referees have only 1 HP anyway. He didn't have to fucking powerbomb him. It's like he's trying to erase him from existence or some shit.
Send his ass to the shadow realm.
Exactly. And like in that big hissy fit, he face planted and looked like a total dumbass.
Well, in the 7th circle of wrestling hell, you don't play around.
No, you don't. See, I guess I did score this, but because it was just so funny and like fun. But like I'm not gonna score it anymore because it's weird. It's not really a squash, but at the same time, it's like Mike Awesome basically squashed this guy until he hooked an inside cradle and he got beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. So I'm not gonna rate it, but it was the best match objectively of the entire show. And I know that's like apparently blasphemy or some shit because apparently this triple threat's fucking amazing. But
No, it's not. This triple threat sucks.
Yeah.
I rated this match. I gave it a 3.7 out of 10 because again, it's a match. It was a weird squash, like you said. Mike Awesome was squashing him until the cradle. And then obviously that fucking turnbuckle like sold me. Like even if it was like a fucking botch, like I gave credit where credit's due. He laid there, whether he was concussed or not. Who cares? Because he did it. Then
I mean, at least we all agree this was match of the night, and it's sad given the timing. But I gave it a 3.4.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Okay.
main event.
Main event time. We got Terry Funk, who's the ECW World Champion, with versus Sabu with 911 and Paul E. Dangerously versus Shane Douglas with Sherry Martel.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So again, this goes apeshit immediately. Like Shane Douglas comes out with Sherry, and then the ring announcer's calling for Paul to come out with Sabu, and then Paul just runs into the ring and hits Sherry in the back of the head with a fucking mic. Like what caused? Where did that come from? And I got like, I'll give credit, I guess. I mean, she didn't just die like a goddamn referee or something. I mean, she was like, she got knocked out for a bit, but recovered. So I noticed, like, apparently,
HP.
yeah,
Or
Sherry
3
has
shit.
2 HP. The match just goes from there. Something happens. There's like a bunch of like technical issues in this match with the commentary. Like the audio track cuts out several times in this match. You can hear. What's funny is you can hear Joey Styles inaudibly ranting, like from one of the mics that's supposed to pick up like the ring noise or some shit. You can hear him going on, but you can't make out what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Shane needs to lose the tassels on his boots. He looks stupid.
Agree.
Shane and Sabu are wrestling. They are having a match up to a point. And whoever wins this match, apparently, like this wasn't really explained until like the commentary came back. They're gonna face Terry Funk unless 15 minutes elapse and nobody wins, and then it becomes a triple threat. Oh, okay, that's like a really weird stipulation.
Yeah, it's basically a way of saying 15 minutes is going to go by, and then we're going to have a triple threat.
Yeah.
Which in ECW, I can't remember. In ECW, aren't triple threats or the 3-way dances? Aren't they elimination matches?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
I thought, if I remember well, at least when it becomes extreme, like there's a very specific stipulation on when it's called a 3-way dance. The way it is that it's a triple threat, but when one person gets pinned, that person gets eliminated, and then it becomes a singles match.
Okay.
I just remember that from the first one night stand. with Tajiri and oh shit, who was the guy that he feuded with a ton? I don't know if you remember the triple threat match that happened on One Night Stand with Tajiri was one of the guys that was in it. But two luchadors. It was two luchadors.
Super Crazy.
Super Crazy. Super Crazy's one of them. There's another luchador that's in it. You never watched One Night Stand?
No.
Oh my.
I know it's supposed to be a good show and shit. But
yeah, I gotta educate you. I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe I think that's why I have like weird tinted glasses when I look at ECW and I see this because.
Sabu's apparently from Bombay, India, by the way, which is not the fucking Middle East, and I think that's really weird. Anyway.
Well, what I found funny about this match is that Terry Funk, after it became a three-way, he went all the way out to Joey Styles' fucking broadcast table.
That was the best part of this match.
Yes. And he begged Sabu and Shane Douglas to come into the crowd, and Shane Douglas and Sabu ignored Terry Funk and continued wrestling.
He just yelled from the crowd.
I wrote it down somewhere. Let me find it. Like when he goes on that rant, yeah, he's like, okay, so like Seb, like at some point they're fighting, and then Terry just kind of wanders off. And he wanders out there to the fucking commentary table, and grabs the mic, and he's like, "Well, come on, you son of a bitch, you dirty, rotten bastard, piece of shit, come here! I'm talking to both of you. I'm talking to you now, damn it! Come here! I want you now! Now! Come on! Well, come on, I'll get you, you idiot! Fuck! And he just goes back out there. It's like he was punch drunk or some shit, which I think is what he was trying to do. Because if you watch Terry Funk a lot, you notice that's something he'll do in a match. Is if he gets hit a bunch, he likes to do that shit where he staggers around and like misses moves and stuff, and that's why he like wanders kind of aimlessly, it seems like, when he's getting his ass kicked. But that was fun. That part was. I actually did write a bunch of notes for this, but I'm not going to go over all that shit.
It's so long.
It's really long.
I had to watch this match 3 times. I fell asleep twice.
Joe Styles said, "What time is it? It's ECW time." And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It was lame shit. It's just like, what are you doing?
I don't even have my sound bits anymore. I wish I had a sound bit for this fucking match. But like, listen, yeah, he's fat. Terry Funk is cool. I
love Terry Funk.
I love him so much, and I love Sabu. I fucking have mixed feelings about Shane Douglas, but apparently he's better at ECW. And boy, this is how I'm introduced to fucking Shane Douglas to ECW. I'm kind of like, oh man, this is terrible. This is really, really terrible.
Yeah.
But like, it ends in a draw. Like, I waited an hour for nothing.
Pretty much. And like, there's a way to execute that result that wouldn't suck, and they didn't do it. So they just did not do it. I don't know what else to say. There's too much chaos, and the pacing of the match, the random brawling, and the breaking up of the pacing and everything, it caused me to zone out several times. And even though I was trying very hard to watch this because it was the main event, I loved Terry, but not in this environment. It doesn't work. Like, I'm not saying Terry Funk never does anything good in this environment, but right now, as it is, that didn't work. Sabu was there. He did some cool stuff. And Shane Douglas was Shane Douglas.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, I'm going to give him a chance. Let's see if he learned anything. And he kind of didn't. He, again, displayed very poor psychology in this match.
Yep.
It's somewhere in my notes, but I'm not going to go back and try to find it. He did several things. I was like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, he started working a body part or some shit, and out of nowhere, like, really deep into the match, and it didn't make any fucking sense. It's just like, why are you doing that? That was the worst main event match I think I've probably ever seen for like any show almost so far.
I agree.
What did you give it?
What did you give it?
1 out of 10. Like the one, like listen, there is gonna be a point where there is a 0 out of 10. We haven't hit that yet, and this has been so close. And the only reason why it gets a 1 is because of Sabu and Terry Funk. But the problem is that I respect them, and that's why they get the 1. But but they don't get it's not a positive. And
so I was my question. Is the scale 0 out of 10 or 1 out of 10?
It's 0 out of 10.
Okay, cool. Because I did go below 1. I'm curious, Zach. What did you?
I had it a little higher than what I initially did, but like talking about it, like actually getting it out, made me hate it more. I give it a 2.1 out of 10.
Would you have it originally?
Like 3 for some reason. I think it's just because Terry.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I have never had to go back and watch a main event match 3 times just to get through it because I fell asleep. And the first time, to be fair, I gave it like I thought, okay, maybe there were reasons I fell asleep. Second time, nope. I had no reason to fall asleep. It was just that bad. I gave this a 0.8.
Brother, oh.
Is that the worst rating on the show so far?
Yes.
It is. It's the lowest. I mean,
yeah.
For a record, a lot of these ratings we're giving out are the lowest we've ever done, I think, in general.
Can we officially like put a record down and call it the Shane Douglas Award for just shitty wrestling? Oh my god, this was so bad.
The Golden Tassels Award.
The murder of
what was his name in WWF when he was a teacher?
Dean Douglas.
The Dean.
What a fucking death gimmick! Seriously,
the Dean Douglas Award for teaching other wrestlers what not to do.
Yes. That sucked. But after the match, we got like 3 good promos, basically. Like the third promo turned into like a whole segment thing. Like after the match, there's Terry Funk is backstage with Joey Styles. And he's like pretty emotional, and he's talking about how he doesn't like the direction wrestling's going in, and this is why he's here. And he's like, real athletes wrestle with their hearts, and he's proud to be champion and stuff. And he's really emotional the whole time, so it's like it kind of sells it. But it's like, Terry, I don't agree with what you're saying, but like I believe you. I believe in you.
Did you notice that Joey Styles was trying to pretend this is a media conference?
Yeah, they were like out in a hotel lobby.
Yeah, and it was like them 3 people and probably the cameraman and probably fucking Paul Heyman in the background.
Yeah,
it's like I give credit where credit due. Those promos were great, but after seeing what analogy can I use? It's kind of like 9/11 happened, and like after 9/11, the Yankees go to the World Series, even though they lose in the World Series in 2001. But you're still happy because, like, hey, it's New York, the New York spirit and all that stuff.
I was going to say it was like the equivalent of like a septic tank truck exploding on the interstate. That's what I was going to go for.
I was going to say, have you ever watched someone record a backyard wrestling event and then they take them out and they put them behind the wooden fence and they try to interview them there? But you just threw at 9/11 and man, I almost pissed myself.
That was great.
You remember 9/11? Yeah. Well, there were worse things in the last 30 years. You ever watch this pay-per-view?
Yeah.
This pay-per-view is actually what started the initiative that led to 9/11. 9/11 wouldn't have happened at this pay-per-view. that too much? Did I cross the line? I did
Whoa, we crossed the
Oh.
line.
Oh
Thank-
shit!
Some backwards fucking hick out in Afghanistan saw this and it pissed him off. And his name was Osama bin Laden. So
he had a trailer inside of his fucking cave. We gonna get them Yankees.
let's see. After Terry, Paul Heyman, Paulie Dangerously's out there at 9/11 and some other fucking guy. And they're trying to like corral Sabu, who's like crazy. And he's like, have him face the wall. Don't have him face the camera. It's like you can't control him or some shit. And then he's like, I don't care about what crybaby Terry Funk has to say. And Shane Douglas can't fight Sabu man to man. Tonight wasn't a justice. And Sabu should still be the ECW champion. He says all this stuff really fast. And he tells everybody at the press conference to go to hell. And then he just wants to get paid. Okay. And then Shane comes out with Sherry, and then he starts popping off on everybody, and he starts cussing up a storm, calling everyone sons of bitches, pieces of shit. And he says, fuck you. And he's upset about the result. And he wants Tom Gordon to make him ECW champion because he was the only one able to walk out under his own power or some shit. And Terry comes up, and he's just like very serious. He's like, what's wrong with you? Like it's your father is admonishing you or some shit. And Shane's like going off on him now, and they have like this really tense exchange. And it gets to this point where Terry's just like, you know what? He's like, I just want to give this to you. You can have the belt. Here, take it. Because he's like, because you called me an old man, and I want to take it from you, so an old man takes this from you. And basically is what he says. And Shane throws the fucking belt at him and says, fuck you. And then Terry slaps the piss out of him, and they start brawling. And then Todd Gordon's like, security! And then like 8 fat guys appear. Just like fucking stop the fight.
Remind me of that Ben Stiller movie with fucking Fat Camp.
It was seriously like 8 fat guys just materialized and stopped the fucking fight. So
Merkles.
it's like you need to hear that tuba noise. Whoop, 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 whoop. But
maybe that's where diabetes and glucose went.
oh shit. Their diabetes, their glucose, and their cholesterol went down the tubes, I guess. But the show ends at this point. The best part was the 3 interviews at the end and the brawl. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
This is my final thoughts. The show is rotten. There's lots of bad excuses for matches, and the low production quality does not help. The main event started okay. And then when Terry Funk came out and it became a 3-way dance, whatever the fuck they call it, it started breaking down and it devolved all the way to like what all the other matches are. Shout out to Mike Awesome for having the only wrestling match on the card with JT Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Promos were great, but I can't recommend this to anybody to watch this. It's fucking terrible. Find the clip of Mike Awesome face planting. It's easy to find. 2.4 out of 10.
Okay. This pay-per-view was really hard to watch. Like I said, I compared it to 9/11.
Jesus.
What else?
The 9/11 of wrestling.
For context, Dubs is from New York.
He's allowed to say that.
It's not even that he's allowed to, it's not the N word. Jesus.
It's the N word for New York people.
Like, as far as impacting things, if you lived in New York and you're comparing something to 9/11, it means it's fucking bad.
Yeah. You know, I'm lost of words. Like, yeah, shout out to Mike Awesome. If I had to choose who's more awesomer between him and The Miz, even though I know Miz is probably a better wrestler, I choose Mike Awesome because he's fucking rad. I like him.
Some people would fight you over that.
Yeah. Miz can go suck a dick. But Yeah, it was terrible to watch. The camera was bad. The commentary was bad. There was decent wrestlers in that event, but they chose to do indie shit, especially indie shit for the 90s.
Yeah. Some of those guys weren't fully formed yet either.
Yeah. And poor Tommy Dreamer just finding out about, Snuka being a fucking murderous coke binger, who, was probably one of the hijackers. But yeah, I can't say anything good about this, and this is a massive strike for ECW.
Yeah.
As far as like, I'm putting up a thing. I think we need to wait until they get another camera to see if quality has improved.
The multi-camera initiative.
Yeah, I just want quality in order so that I could see most action, because maybe if we had more cameras and better lighting, maybe this event would have been at least bearable. A little bit. I think a little bit it would have been better. But I give this a 2.2 out of 10.
1.7 out of 10. This is the worst show I've ever watched, and I watched the Legends of Wrestling show.
Oh shit! By the way,
I'd rather watch that again.
I amended my score. I made it 1.8 out of 10.
What's that, Luch?
I was mad.
Oh man, this was fucking trash. Can we? Okay, normally our X's, if you get 3 X's, we skip you for a month and then come back or then skip. Can we just go ahead and skip to the part where we say we'll just revisit ECW in '95? Like I have no desire to watch any of this again. I actually feel like I wasted part of my life and not in any way that I enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm going to peer into my crystal ball a little bit and
see if we get something good. Yeah,
check out these future shows and see if they shape up a little bit.
Yeah,
so they're on a serious probation for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, man, sometimes you gotta. What's the whole thing? You gotta bang a 4 to appreciate an 8.
Sometimes
you gotta watch an ECW show to appreciate the Equalizer.
Like right now, it's Super Brawl 4.
Segway, we did it. I'm not drunk anymore. Bitches, I ate food. Yeah.
This is crackers counts. Was that crackers?
I think crackers and Swiss rolls.
That counts as sustenance.
He's fat.
He's fat. I don't got any Twinkies in my pocket. I don't got donuts. Oh man. So this is Super Brawl 4 on February 20th of 94.
Mm-hmm.
And we start off with a sweet video package showing all the matches, and Ric Flair training for his match in the Thunder Cage with Big Van Vader. And we got Tony and Bobby Heenan on commentary, so it's like, all right, cool. And then they just kind of go straight into the show with Johnny B. Bad versus Michael P.S. Hayes. But Michael Hayes comes out in a wheelchair with Jimmy Garvin pushing him.
We got to backtrack a little bit. We got to backtrack. There was something before the show starts.
What?
There was that intro of Ric Flair doing like this crazy montage building up, which was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, when he was working out.
I want more wrestling shows to start, especially pay-per-views, to start that way. When they're doing the fucking Rocky motivational fucking, I'm out working out and I'm running up the fucking steps. And instead of yelling at anything else, he's at the top and he goes, "Woo!
Woo! Vader! Woo!"
Ironically, I fucking love that. That was
that was cool. You know what's awesome though is later on, like Vince masters that shit.
Yeah, for real. Like the whole like coming up with the way of like shooting what's going to happen as an intro of things. Yeah.
Because the WrestleMania 12 for the Iron Man match, he does this shit with both Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, where they're both training and shit, and it's like he creates this fucking montage. And unironically, it doesn't feel like it's for a wrestling match. It feels like it's for like a fucking fight, like it's a professional fight or something. And it's fucking cool, and I love it. And I wish they would do stuff like that again.
I love that. That is when wrestling's at its best, when you're blurring the lines and you have the big fight feel.
Mm-hmm.
When you can't tell the difference if you're watching like an intro and you can't tell if they're wrestling or if they're boxing or having an MMA fight, that is when wrestling's at its best.
Yes.
In my opinion, at least.
Well, that's why I love Vader so much, is because he's a character no matter what. From the time that we started watching 93 WCW, like he's always been, who's the man? I'm the man. Who
the man?
or when fucking Mean Gene's like, hey, can I get an interview? No interviews.
No interviews. He's like throwing a chair across the room.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring up the fact that they mic'd Ric Flair while he was doing workout, and I'm like, that's Ric Flair hump noises when he's humping bitches.
Woo! But so yeah, now we'll go to our first match, and Michael Hayes comes out in a wheelchair with Jimmy Garvin pushing him, and he also comes out to a Big Lots version of Freebird by Leonard Skinner. What it sounded like.
I liked it. I kind of liked it.
Freebird, that's the best.
It was Big Lots Freebird. Seriously.
Because I've been to a Magic Mart.
Yeah, Magic Mart, man. Talk about deep cut. Oh,
It's
man.
a Magic Mart Leonard Skinner right there.
Fuck. Yeah, that's what it's going to be called from now on. So, Hayes says he can't wrestle because he had an accident and fell down the stairs. And then Jimmy Garvin says, no, he slipped on a banana peel. And BG's like, wait a minute, which one's right? Did he fall downstairs or slip on a banana peel? And then Nick Bockwinkel comes out, and he's a commissioner right now. And then he's like, Hayes is like, I got a doctor's excuse. I do. Look. And he pulls his paper out. Then he looks it over, and Bockwinkel does. And he's like, yeah, there's a valid signature there. And then he says something like, well, I was looking at your all's contracts, and there's some clause in there where if one of you can't compete, somebody else will fill in. And then he's like, Jimmy Garvin, you're going to wrestle now. He's like, but what? And then Bobby Heen's like, he's retired. He hasn't wrestled in 2 years. And I'm like, wait, how can is he retired or not? How can he be under contract if he's retired? Like, what? So
they pick such a dumb way to enforce the Freebird rule.
Yeah.
It is cool. It's just they picked a dumb. It's like if you do a math problem and you just fucking guessed, you were high as shit, and you looked over and you saw like the person next to you and you put the answer, and they're like, oh, that's great, how'd you get that? And you're like, duh, and you got a picture of fucking potato being like set on fire. Like, I feel bad too because Nick Bockwinkel is trying to like bring reverence and like make things like very serious and like bring like a better status to the role he's in. But WCW, it's like everything around him's on fire.
Yeah.
It is so badly booked and like so hokey and bullshit. Like he tries to make it, he almost feels like he's just so professional and so almost like legal in a way.
He's bringing some decorum to this, but it's all for naught.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It feels so. I feel so bad for him, but he's trying, and it's fine. But you know, at the same time, like if you don't think too hard about it, it is cool that they're gonna like enable the Freebird rule to make a match happen. It's kind of neat.
So that turned into an angle, and it was over. So this is a real first match. Harlem Heat, Kane and Cole, they're rocking their slave names, unfortunately. Versus Thunder and Lightning. And
let me make this clear because we're on Couch Entertainments and they don't get our inside jokes.
Yes, please explain
it. Kane and Cole they were gonna do a gimmick where Colonel Parker was gonna be their slave owner. And
he was their slave owner.
This is a joke. He said, I own these boys, these are my boys, and this guy who looks like he walked off a fucking antebellum plantation, chawing a cigar, had these two young, strapping black men.
He's on the show later. Fucking Doug Dimmadome's going to come out with the goddamn fucking 6-man tag match later. But he used to own these black guys, and they got free. They Harriet Tubman the shit out of there, and then they changed their names later when they get to the North, and they are Booker T and Stevie Ray. If those sound familiar at all, you know Booker T, like the Hall of Famer, like one of the greatest to ever do it. Five time.
They get Sherry Martel with them too. Sister Sherry.
Oh yeah. Oh man, fucking love me some prime Harlem Heat. They're almost there. But okay, I have a question for you guys. Thunder and Lightning, they both look very familiar. I'm not gonna lie, one of them looked like AJ Styles' older brother, but he's juiced. But I have no idea who those guys are. Are they anyone?
I don't know. I was getting ready to try to look it up, but
oh no, the other one looks like the Green Ranger.
I was like, are these guys clones? Because they look the same almost. Like I was like, I'm so confused. And then Bobby Heenan starts calling them Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And then I thought they looked like the proto Body Donnas, like the way their outfit is and shit. I'm like, they look like the Body Donnas, except it's too early for that.
It's like a good-looking wrecking crew.
Yeah, like a young, good-looking wrecking crew.
Yeah.
Okay, Lightning is Jeffrey Farmer, and Thunder is Clark Haynes. I'm looking to see if they ever played any other wrestlers.
Is Jeffrey Farmer Jumpin' Jeff Farmer?
I mean that, yeah.
Oh my God, that's the guy. Have you ever seen that clip where it's like from I think AWA, and he's like a lot younger and skinnier back then. He's like, Jumpin' Jeff Farmer, you just had one hell of a match against I can't remember the dude's name, and he looks at the camera like that camera. He goes, "Yep," and he can't say anything else. It's like he just froze. It's like his mind froze. But oh wow, that's cool. That's one of my favorite wrestling clips. He's like, "Yep."
Can you pull it up? If I post it, can we play it?
Yeah, let me.
Best wrestling promo ever. Oh my God, this is fucking gold. I don't even care. We're already there. We gotta do it. All right, we gotta do it to him. Let me get this over to you. That is in our private chat there.
Okay.
Here we go.
It's actually worth it. It might be. It's more entertaining than anything we just talked about in the last hour and 15 minutes in terms of what we watched. Yeah, I'd rather watch that 115 times than watch that fucking ECW pay-per-view again.
To Jumpin' Jeff Farmer.
You hear it?
Let's go now to that interview.
Yeah.
Okay.
Folks, there's Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Jeff, a while back, what a match you had with Margaret.
Yep. Probably the hardest match I ever had in my life. But I don't like it when things aren't going my way. Motley Cruz, you turn the tables on me. You turn the tables in a wrong way. You got me mad now. I've stood around. I've listened to everything you had to say. I did everything necessary. When you turn around and you backstab me one way or another, and you cheat me out of what's rightfully mine, that's when I get angry.
And you turn around?
Now I'm the one doing the challenging. I'm issuing a challenge to you, Motley Cruz. Get in the ring with me. This time, I'm going full force.
Full force.
Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Now let's...
I feel bad for him. Like we're laughing at him shit, but it's like when you see him, when the camera, he looks so goddamn terrified. It's like he's like using every fiber of his being to not shit himself. Is what it looks like. It's just like, for real.
I was waiting for his fucking hair to straighten out on its own.
Oh man,
it was like curly and shit. It was just gonna like automatically just go.
So that's the same guy.
That is the same guy. How unbelievable is that? Steroids are fucking real.
Oh man, see Adam Cole. That's all you got to do.
You know it's all about that juice.
Oh please, let's go. The juice. Oh,
Brennan. Juice.
Him and Roddy Strong can fucking kill the whole roster. But
yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna try to cover this. Cole begins against Lightning. Okay. And there's not much to really write about. these guys are 10 years too late. These Thunder and Lightning guys, like this whole package. I'm like, this feels like this could have worked in the 80s, but not right now.
They got a big pop, and I guess they're from the area. That was the other thing, is like they're local boys. So I think it was kind of like a thing of, we're gonna give some local guys a rub and give them an opener type of thing.
They said they were from Orlando. They were doing that in Georgia.
I just looked it up. Both guys are from Atlanta, Georgia.
Why did they say Orlando?
I have no fucking clue, because they're just doing dumb shit. It's WCW. None of this shit makes sense. Fucking Boss Hogg is fucking managing Rick Rude. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It's a bunch of ham and eggers.
Ham and eggers. Right. By the way, I'll point it out now, but in this match it happens once, but it's like a slip. But there are three times that Bobby Heenan calls Tony Schiavone McMahon, and it's fucking hilarious.
Oh man, I didn't see that.
It happens 3 times.
I didn't pick up on that. That's funny.
The other 2 are in the same match, and it's like things just get really intense. And he honestly doesn't mean to, but he calls him this, but he fixes it, and he calls him Tony right away. And Tony Schiavone is, like, rolls with it really well, but I actually like their dynamic quite a bit.
Yeah,
I like it a lot more than Tony and fucking Jesse. Oh, you know, Tony. I don't get me wrong. I found it endearing, but he and Bobby play off of each other really well, I think.
I have like. See, at first, when the show started, I felt it was a little rough, like they were still trying to get their flow. But as it progressed, they kind of got there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the opposite of when Jesse Ventura first showed up, and it was like for a while Tony didn't know how to take him.
Well, Bobby Heenan has anxiety problems, like, and I for some strange reason, you could tell in this pay-per-view, like, he goes all out. I wonder if he, like, swigs like a half a bottle of whiskey before he goes out, because he's hilarious. It's funny.
I mean, what's really funny is most of the time, I've at least learned this listening to different podcasts and stuff and hearing JR talk about it. But at one point, JR's job, at least in WWF, was basically to keep Bobby Heenan high. Like, Bobby Heenan just constantly stayed high because that was how he dealt with his anxiety. Yeah. So it's just interesting to hear that. It's like he was able to, like, do the stuff he does and everything. He's such a funny person, but to think that person, like, dealt with such crippling anxiety and still did the type of job that they did, it's like all the more impressive because of it.
It's crazy.
It is, and that absolutely is.
Weed affects people differently, apparently, because he does not seem like he's high at all.
Yeah, some people, again, if you're like super on edge and nervous, it just brings you down to like an even level. If you're at an even level and you get high, you just turn into you like Goofy and run red lights. Hey, he's bro.
Bro, I only fuck porn stars, bro.
Bro, Randall.
I wish Randall would come back.
I know. Randall, fucking fix your back. Like,
fix your back, bro.
Get metal back and get metal arms, and you can be Jax.
If Ric Flair could fucking wrestle on a fucked up back, you could.
Yeah, Ric Flair survived the fucking plane crash.
Yeah, Ric Flair wrestled like your entire fucking lifespan with a broken back. You pussy.
And he almost wrestled while having a heart attack.
That's also true.
Ric Flair has more wrestling talent in his left testicle than most other people that wrestle now. And
all right, well,
yeah, I don't have any more to say.
Let's get through this fucking match.
Yeah,
they wrestle a little, and then Harlem Heat win. We did it.
No.
Go on.
So, yeah, Heat don't do a lot of their crazy offense they're known for yet, but I also feel like this isn't the time or place for it.
Well, they're heels. They're in that weird heel spot. Yeah,
they're in the heel phase. And then, Heenan's calling them the Thunder, Lightning, Batman, and Robin. They kind of control the early part of the match until Cole's able to clothesline one of these created wrestlers out to the floor. Then Kane jacks him up in the security railing and slams him on the floor, sucker. And then Harlem Heat continues to get heat on the Universal Studios tag team until Robin gets tagged in and they corks off a comeback, but he misses a drop kick on Kane, And then he hits a big belly suplex on Cole, and he has him pinned. But then Kane kicks Robin in the head. And while Robin's partner in crime fighting Batman distracts the referee crying about the heat, this causes Robin to flop over, and then Cole pins him because he got kicked in the head.
Okay,
And I was
he kicked him real hard.
I was like, this was okay, even if the created wrestler team was kind of herky-jerky.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I know one of them is jumping Jeff Farmer, it's okay. Maybe he needs to smoke weed so he can settle down.
Those fucking tassels on his body seem really stressed.
Yeah, their negative charisma value does not help matters. The finish was fucking lame, though. That was like a real flat finish.
Yeah.
I give us a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it in the middle. We're gonna get through a trend here where I was like, man, these matches are fucking long. But I gave it a 5 out of 10. I love Harlem Heat. Definitely right now they're in the early stages, and like you said, they're in like a heel position, so they have to do like everything heel.
Yeah, we're not seeing like crazy scissor kicks and fucking the slapjack or the Harlem hangover shit. We're not seeing that stuff yet. Booker T's not doing a spinneroonie yet.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
I'm excited.
Well, me too.
What'd you give it, Chaz?
I gave it a 5, actually. I was like, oh, this is like a very average way to start the show. So that's fine. But you know what? Honestly, coming to this, I was like, man, this was already so much better than anything I had watched previously. So I was okay with that.
Sometimes you gotta fucking one to appreciate a 5.
Apparently. Yeah, I mean, whew. Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was about to say. Oh man,
I was about to say something fucked up too, but
yeah, I was smooth. I'm 9/11. Let's move on.
All right, we're backstage with Mean Gene, who's in front of 9/11. I mean, the dressing rooms for Ric Flair and Vader, and there's heavy security back there because Vader apparently threatened that if he could get his hands on Ric Flair before the match, he would. And that brings us to the Equalizer versus Jungle Jim Steele.
To the part where Bobby Heenan was like, Jungle Jim, that's a fucking kid's thing in the backyard.
He called him Jungly Jim too, which is like, it's very subtle, but it's just a funny thing to say. Oh, there's Jungly Jim.
I called him, I typoed him at first. I said Jingle Jim Steele.
Jingle Jim. I just want to point out, Equalizer, I think he took his meds. The bees, like, I didn't really see him go after the bees at all. I was really disappointed.
He's been cured of his mental illness, is what it was.
That's what I'm saying. He's taking his meds. He's fucking on the lithium.
He got away from Paula.
Yeah, Paul Orndorff was withholding his meds.
That's what it was.
Fucking Jingle Jim Steele looks like Dollar Tree Jimmy Snuka. I mean,
yeah, but he's better than ECW Jimmy Snuka.
He is, though. He has a better body. He just, I don't know, wrestling is
Why was this match so long?
I don't know.
He looks like a fucking Sam's Club, fucking Nathan's hot dog, fucking grew arms and legs and learned how to fucking wrestle. He does.
So he's created Wrestler 3.
He's a great wrestler when you move all the attributes up to like the end.
The default setting wrestler.
I don't know. Sorry. I don't know what photo app it was. It might have been Snapchat. Do you remember, like, it used to be like a dancing hot dog that would just appear when you were doing Snapchat? that's Jungle Jim. He's just
ask me about my wiener. I'm Jingle Jim.
This is what we do. We compare wrestlers to hot dogs. Various states and qualities of hot dogs.
Yeah.
This match was dull, though. I mean, like, Equalizer has, like, no heat as a heel. And Jim Steele has no charisma. And they also have no chemistry. So Equalizer's working over Steele for, like, several minutes. He's at disadvantage the entire time. He gets like little spurts of like offense. He kind of gets some punches, or he does a drop kick, and it just goes nowhere. And then like off of a shoot off, Jim Steele hits a fucking Thez press, the steel trap, stacking the dude up for 3, and he pins him with a fucking Thez press.
He actually looks like an adopted Von Erich brother.
Oh God!
I remember thinking that after he did the steel trap, and I was like, he looks like the Von Erich said, we need another one, and we need a replacement. And yeah, that's kind of what he looks like. And I mean that like legitimately, he has like the curls. He actually looks like a Von Erich brother.
His face, yeah, you kind of get what you're saying, actually.
Yeah, he really. Like, I'm not even saying that like to troll. Like he actually looks like a Von Erich boy. But yeah. Ironically, the Equalizer's one thing he had going for him was that he was unstable.
Now he's not unstable anymore. Now he's stable. So.
Yeah, he's equal, and it actually that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's ironic. It truly is ironic. It's the definition of irony. He's all fucked up now. It's bad. I need him to go back to like his fucking hair being all crazy and disheveled, and he looks like he's been off his fucking meds for 3 weeks, and he's like, I'll do anything. I'll suck dick, fucking lithium and risperidone.
It's like when rock music was better and all the fucking stars were on heroin and shit.
Yeah.
I almost made a Lost reference. Sorry, you guys probably never watched Lost.
No, you're good. I almost talked about having sex with slaves earlier, so listen. The bar's really low in my own head. We've moved on.
I don't have any other fucking comments on this match. I was like, what the fuck's going on with this show? This feels like an episode of Saturday Night so far.
Yeah,
it does. And not necessarily a good one either.
No.
I can't believe the Equalizer lost to a goddamn Jungle Jim Steele.
He lost to a Thez press in 1994. I'm like, damn.
And then he got up and he tried to like reasonably argue with the referee.
Yeah. I'm
so confused. What did they give this man?
I don't know.
He's drinking his Ovaltine. I don't know. It's fucking. I need that man fucking in the back, butt naked, trying to like just rip through fucking property that doesn't belong to anyone in the building, just trying to figure out where those bees are hiding.
I don't know, but I gave this a 4 out of 10.
That's what I gave it to, a 4 out of 10.
Because I'm a little higher on it. Go ahead.
The reason why is like, one, this is a pay-per-view, and it's confirmed to be a pay-per-view because fucking Tony's like, hey, this is Bobby Heenan, this is your first pay-per-view.
It's not even that it's a confirmed pay-per-view. This is a big pay-per-view for them. It's the start of the year. Super Brawl is a big deal for it's not Starrcade, but it is a bigger event for them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it feels weird that that's how they've started the show with these 2 matches.
Yeah. And it's just way too long, man. I would have cut this match at least probably 7 minutes.
Yeah, I don't have times in front of me on the cage match stuff, unfortunately. They didn't have it on this, but that's okay. Yeah, I gave this a 4.3.
Oh, same ballpark.
Yeah, we're close. Like, it was bad, but it wasn't, like, terrible. I was really thrown off by the whole Equalizer thing in this Jim Steele. Also, we didn't talk about the steel trap thing. It's a Thez press, but he's supposed to get his legs underneath him, and he definitely like botches trying to get his legs underneath to catch Equalizer because Equalizer lays his legs down, and then he puts them back up to catch him, and it's an awkward thing of he's like It's like watching someone try to handshake someone, and then they give a fist bump, and they go
It's like that video of Hitler trying to shake Mussolini's hand and they fuck up. Like
yeah, that's exactly what it is. And then just count to 3 and it works.
So, up next we got Mean Gene is with Ricky Steamboat, Nick Bockwinkel, and he's asking Steamboat about what's going on with him and what's going on backstage. And Steamboat's like, he's leveraged himself to get a title match. After being out of the world title picture for like over a year.
Yeah, we actually did see like when Ric Flair beat Vader and stuff, like when Sting was back there celebrating, Ricky Steamboat came And Rick did the thing like, "Oh, brother, I'll give you a shot," and all that stuff.
Fuck yeah, we get to see Ric Flair Steamboat again.
Yeah, and we also get more information later down the road where we see Steamboat, like, intervening in some of the Vader fucking trying to murder everybody thing.
Yeah.
And Vader trying to murder Ricky Steamboat as well.
Indeed.
But I have to say, usually Steamboat is fine in promos. This felt like hostage taken weird, like how he was delivering his lines. It felt very scripted.
Yeah, he felt kind of off in this show whenever he was supposed to say stuff. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it was maybe he got some weird direction or some shit or whatever, and he's just maybe he had a bad night, maybe he had gas. I don't know. So, next we got Diamond Dallas Page with the Diamond Doll, Kimberly, versus Terry Taylor. And I was like, oh shit, DDP's back. Because we haven't seen him since the early part of 93. I think he got injured or something.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, the ring announcer guy was annoyed at his fucking entrance because his entrance had his him yelling, and the announcer guy is like, oh, Diamond, and then he's I don't know what was said. I'm just gonna use high fly, and he's like, Diamond Dallas Page.
it's like a sweet cover version of "School's Out" by Alice Cooper. With engine rev, and then DDP says "Good God" or some shit, and I was like, finally, a goddamn star showed up. Diamond Dallas Page is not a star yet, but we know he will be. So it's interesting. And then Terry Taylor's here.
Yeah,
so,
Red Rooster.
He's not a Red Rooster here, at least.
I know.
Nope, he's back to doing Terry Taylor things.
Yep. And then he gets kind of close to DDP, and it's funny because DDP puts Diamond Doll in front of him to shield him. I'm like, what an asshole.
Diamond Doll had a bassy voice. I don't know if you heard her. She's like, get it. She sounded like Luna Vachon at times. I
don't think that was her. I think that was some fucking chick in the crowd.
Yeah, there was some old fucking hag back there, especially during this match, and then during the Arn Anderson Regal match.
Yeah.
Can go and at it, just yelling, "Don't let the cheating get rid of Sir William."
She called him a son of a bitch. I have a note about that.
You son of a bitch, go back. Get out of America. Wait, it's funny because Sir William is clearly from the southeast.
No. Sir William's from he's Australian, born in Scotland, but he fucking settled in Tennessee. It's so weird.
He's the fucking Hawaiian pizza of humans.
Yes. Damn. Poor superstar Bill Dundee. Oh my. But it starts off and Terry Taylor takes a few swings at Dallas, who tries and swings back, but Taylor catches him, shoots him off in the ropes. He hits his fucking thrust kick on DDP out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect Terry Taylor to do that. Okay.
Hey,
So,
even Bobby Heenan was like, whoa.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to him now. And basically, Terry out-wrestles DDP for a good part of the match for a while. He keeps taking him down, put him in a cross arm breaker and arm holds and stuff.
Arm bar,
arm ringer, full arm dragon twist. That's one of Tony's favorite calls. Taylor,
I just like when he puts Greco-Roman in front of anything.
If you put Greco-Roman in front of anything, it makes it sound more legitimate.
Yeah, the Greco-Roman arm ringer. He just does it all the time. Or the Asian or the Asiatic.
The Asiatic spike. My favorite was Jim Ross called a back suplex a Japanese suplex. I mean, not because I guess that's how they did suplexes. Whatever, but. Taylor goes bounce off the ropes for something, and DDP catches him with a reverse elbow. That changes the whole tide of the match. And now
Judas effect.
He did a Judas effect, but he's not a pretentious prick. So
What have I become?
Oh, damn! It's like a life story for real, though. Dallas is using his size and strength advantage with Taylor, and I forgot how big and tall DDP actually was. It was like I didn't really notice it till this match, I guess.
Well, his journey as a wrestler is fucking fascinating because he came in to the business in his 30s and he was like working as like at a bar or something. So he still has like that beer belly with muscles look.
Yeah, he got into it through like the bar scene. He like owned a bunch of clubs in Jersey.
Strip clubs, yeah.
Yeah, and then he decided to get in. And he didn't really break into things until like you said the 30s, and didn't get his big break until he's like early 40s, right? He became champion in like what he was like 41 or 42, right?
Mm-hmm. He started out as a manager.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I want to be a wrestler. And they're like, you're crazy, dude. You're like 30. He's like, fuck it. Who says I can't do it? And he did it. And,
he's a big guy. Yeah.
I remember looking at it. I remember him from last year, and I don't remember him being that big, and his gear was different. I think he was, I think he gained weight when he was off injury or something. That's why he looks weird.
That's fair. I mean, he's tall though too. Isn't he like 6'4", 6'5" or something?
Yeah, I feel like that's about right.
Yeah, let me check and see.
DP's hitting elbows and shit in the corner. They scrap, and DP does this cool suplex slam kind of a move for 2. How tall is he?
6'5".
Got it.
I don't know why, but for some reason, Google also wanted me to know how tall Scott Hall and Scott Steiner were. It was like, see also, Scott Hall is 6'7".
Yeah.
Oh, he's billed at that, and Scott Steiner was 6'1". But Scott Steiner was 33.3% larger in muscle mass than any other human male on Earth. So
Samoa Joe knows. You can't spell the
He's not even gonna try. DP does gutbuster and he throws Taylor turnbuckle chest first, does back suplex, and then he's beating on Taylor and he slaps on a Cobra clutch. And he gets a pinfall attempt for 2. Taylor tries to rally, he stops him, and he does a sleeper hold, pulls his hair down to the mat, and Taylor breaks out of that sleeper and he hits a high back suplex on DDP to get out of it.
There's a lot of ring psychology in this match, which is kind of cool to see a little bit.
It was a good back and forth match, really. Taylor hits drop kick, shoots Dallas off in the ropes, but he grabs him because DDP was telegraphing he was going to do a backdrop, so he just slams his face into the canvas. And there's another sleeper hold spot for a while. And then like basically DDP's trying to cover him and put him away, and he can't, and he's getting pissed off.
He does like a badass punch.
Yeah, cool. Like out of nowhere, he just gets pissed. He just uncorks one on him, like wham, and he knocks him on his back. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah, which that's relevant too, because like, isn't there like some weird rule still in some circles of wrestling where you can't just open hand punch someone in the face like that? You can't sucker punch.
Yeah, right? And yeah, it's been a rule in WCW on and off, and I think right now it's off. Because otherwise,
the ref like interacts with him, it makes it seem like he's kind of trying to tell him don't do that again or something. And he's like, "Hey, whatever, came after me, I hit him."
Yeah, he just kind of brushed it off.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets Terry up out. He covers him anyway. He laid there for too long, and he was able to kick out for 2. He throws him in the corner. And he does like a running shoulder thrust thing, cutting that dude in half. And then he goes to throw him in the opposite corner and do it again. Taylor ducks out of the way, rolls him up, grabs his tights, gets 3. Taylor, this is funny. Like Taylor rolls out of the ring, he's like, yeah! And he goes past Kimberly standing there and just shoves her out of the way. I'm like, what the fuck was that? What did she do?
Yeah, I thought it was, like she never really like interrupted in the match at all.
She didn't do anything. She was just out there being hot. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Bobby was having fun talking about her.
Yeah, they just continued that throughout the night. I did like that Bobby kept praising Paige because he's doing the whole color commentary. He's like praising the heel and like talking shit about Terry Taylor. And then Terry Taylor, they do the replay. He shows that he held the tights. And he's like, you know what? I respect that Terry Taylor. He immediately changed his because he did something dirty. I really like that. It's like a little thing, but it was great.
I thought Terry was the babyface though, and you know what?
Yeah.
In my opinion, well, no, it's because of that. Then he pushes. He lays his hand on a woman who didn't do anything the whole time.
Mm.
So I'm like, DDP's got grounds for beating his ass, in my opinion. So there needs to be a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good match, though.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.7 out of 10.
I gave it a 6.9.
So nice.
Wow,
I gave it a nice. Yeah. Cool.
First good match in this show.
Yeah. With spoilers, my match of the night, but we'll get there.
This fucking Mean Gene segment, I cringed so fucking hard at this German dude.
Oh God, I forgot about this. Fucking talking to Das Boot.
Oh, I guess because they're going to Germany soon, because they're doing the European tour.
Yeah, they're gonna go recruit Alex Wright.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, they're gonna get Alex Wright. This is how Alex Wright's gonna show up, and it's gonna change the entire face of the professional wrestling landscape.
That's what I kept thinking about.
I can't wait for Das Wunderkind to show up and fucking show everybody how it's done.
Oh shit.
So German announcer Oliver Muffler, whatever. He says he's proud to be here with the legend Mean Gene in front of his viewers and stuff. And he's like, "Can I say something in German?" And Mean Gene like looks at him and he's like,
"Go ahead,
I guess."
All right, come on, Hitler. Floor's yours.
Hey.
And he does the he says it's German, and then he like says something like I totally forget, like he's glad to be here and Super Brawl and all that stuff.
He looks like a distressed bratwurst. Since we're talking, we have to bring the sausage hot dog thing and do it again.
He looks like a. Well, yeah, he does. He looks like a boiled hot dog in stress. You know how like if you grill a hot dog, it gets a certain color, but if you boil them, they get pale. It's like one of those like church sale hot dogs you buy in front of like a grocery store.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a specific thing, but it exists.
It's jumping Jeffrey Scheiße.
It's a jumping Jeff Schnitzel.
Jumping schnitzels.
Yeah. Now we got the match: Johnny B. Bad versus Jimmy Garvin.
Michael P.S. Hayes.
Dude, I want to bring this up. Like,
okay,
Michael P.S. Hayes, fucking hilarious. And every time they fucking put the video on him.
He was pretty damn entertaining in this, even though he didn't do anything.
There's something special by him sitting in a wheelchair, and he's got the tape up all the way up to his chest, but his fucking chest hair just hanging out of that fucking Confederate flag windbreaker.
Dude,
like, there's something about that, like, oh man.
I want that fucking windbreaker. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh man,
it's just rad. You got to grow the mullet to go with it. Jesus.
Yeah.
But, Jimmy Garvin looks like Kenny Powers from East Down and Bound, man. Holy shit!
If he was like clean up a little bit to be a pilot,
yeah,
Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers faked his death and became a fucking wrestler.
Oh Jesus, that's such a good thing to say. He does.
I was like, what? Like I was just looking at him like, God damn, he looks like Danny McBride. This is strange.
Oh man.
But Johnny's out wrestling Garvin, and Hayes is just sitting out there from his wheelchair, comedically shouting things like he's got Jimmy Garvin in a rest hold. He's like, I wish I could be in there so bad. Ah, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Not the match itself, but just hearing him talk the whole time, because you can hear him over everything. What's so fucking great? Oh, I'd really give it to Johnny if I could be in there right now. And then at one point, he just starts talking to Bobby. He's like, hey, Bobby, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you understand. It's good to have a friend like you in my corner.
We need more.
They're having like a whole conversation across the fucking ring.
We need more compassionate people to be hired here in this company.
My other favorite line he said was, he's like, "Get him, Jimmy, get him, beat him up for your crippled brother." He called him his crippled brother. Oh my god.
And they also he like when Jimmy Garvin came out of the ring because he did like his little timeouts that he had happen. And he's like, "You need to get him down and pin him." And Tony's like, "Get him." It's a solid strategy.
He's like, "That was a great strategy session." He's like, "Yeah, you clearly don't understand the intricacies of it," or something, whatever Bobby
He's
said.
like, you need to get him on the ground, pin him to 1, 2, 3, and that's how the match is. It's like the John Madden shit. It's like the team with more points wins the game, and that's football.
Every time Jimmy Garvin was like getting owned by Johnny B. Bad, Bobby Heenan's like, he has been wrestling for 2 years. He's a white collar worker.
Yeah. He was at a disadvantage the whole time.
He kept talking about how he was at disadvantage because he didn't have his mullet anymore. Because he had to cut his hair and everything. He can't wrestle the same way. And then Tony Schiavone asked him, "Well, yeah, he's got to clean up. He's got to fly a plane." And then they keep arguing about like what the cockpit's like. He's like, "Well, yeah, he has to cut his hair. He can't have a mullet in there with those open air cockpits." And Tony's like, "There are no cockpits where it's just open ended." He's like, "Yeah, on those double wing planes." Like, that doesn't exist, Bobby. He's like, "Yeah, whatever. That's just your opinion or something." Like, their conversation had nothing to fucking do with anything, but it was so great.
Where was I? Johnny's out wrestling Garvin some more until Garvin takes over. He does some knees and some punches in the corner, and then he wears Johnny down with chin lock until Johnny comes back, and then he does a backdrop, and he does the kiss that don't miss, to which Bobby Heenan says, "What a great wrestling move, a punch to the mouth." He was just being an asshole about it.
Oh, God damn.
Man goes to the top rope and he does a super sunset flip for 3. And I'm like, I still think that's like a really weird finisher. Like the top rope sunset flip to a standing guy. I'm like,
you're hurting yourself more. It doesn't really make sense.
Like, mechanically, isn't that the same thing as a sunset flip you do from the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. You're hurting yourself more. Yeah.
Like, even Mick Foley does that move, but it makes more sense for him to do that move for some reason. I don't know.
Just make sure you take the padding off first.
Yeah. This match was kind of dull. Garvin spent, I think, a little too much time stalling, and it didn't really pay off. But
It's entertaining.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
I broke down my scores on this. Wrestling match was a 5 out of 10. Entertainment value, 8 out of 10. So my overall score, I balanced it, and I gave it a 6.2.
I gave it a 5.9 out of 10. Just because I was just entertained. Wrestling wise, it's Johnny B. Bad. And also Johnny Garvin just, coming off of a 2-year hiatus.
Jimmy Garvin.
Jimmy Garvin.
Yeah.
Jimmy Jam. Kenny Garvin.
Yeah, I've also realized something. You ever had that question someone asked you if you could just have dinner with any one person in history, who would it be? I'm not gonna lie, he's moving up there. I really think I'd want to have dinner with Bobby Heenan at like an IHOP or a Bob Evans.
Denny's.
A Denny's. Oh yeah, Denny's.
Or
Well, there's
Waffle
this whole
House.
thing about how he would troll the waitress and ask for like a special that he knows they don't have. And then he asks for their flavor of pie. And like, honey, what flavor you have? Can you go back there and check on this one? And he keep asking for shit he knows they don't have just to mess with her. I really just want to. I would have loved to have had like a meal with him. It'd be so funny.
Mm.
Maybe in the afterlife.
Yeah, maybe in the afterlife. You're right.
So,
Although I'm going to the 7th Circle of Hell. I'm going directly to that ECW show. I'm just preparing.
I thought you didn't want to go there.
Well, I mean, it doesn't exist, but that's a whole different thing.
So after this match, Michael P.S. gives Garvin a boot and starts beating up Johnny B. Bad. And Tony says, "Oh, he's gonna do his iconic like DDT," and then he does like a stunner or like a jawbreaker. And then Garvin looks at the video lens and says, "That's what you call a 911."
Tony's like, that's the 911. Like, you mean a shitty twist of fate?
It was a stunner.
Eh.
It was a stunner. Oh, I gave this a 5, by the way. You guys skipped
sorry.
over me.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Oh, I thought we got you in there. My bad.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't write that down where he stunned him and said, "This 911." I'm like, okay, man.
That's just like your opinion, man.
There's another backstage segment with Gene, and he's trying to interview Vader, and that's when he's pissed off, and he goes, "No interviews!" And he scares me, Gene, away.
Yeah.
Up next is Arn Anderson versus Lord Steven Regal, who's the champion, with Sir William for the WCW Championship.
In between all of this, there was also actually I might be time traveling. Let me make sure. Have they? I think that it was in the same segment, but it may be after this. When they interview Flair, was
That's
the Flair?
after.
It's because Arn's back. You're right. Never mind. Continue then.
Okay,
I'm jumping ahead. Yeah, we'll talk about it after.
So, oh my God.
I just want to bring up this. Actually, no, you go ahead because mine. Like I thought this match was really good until the end. Like the result of what we've been seeing for the past fucking like 6 months now.
Yeah.
But I'll you go by the play-by-play.
All right. Well, so I'm not going to get too much into that because of what the match ended up being. I will note real quick they gave this match a 30-minute time limit instead of 15. I'm like, okay, how come you guys didn't do that before on like bigger shows?
Mm-hmm.
Arn and Regal, they lock up real stiff, and then Regal keeps backing off in a weird manner, and he's like holding his head and shit, like he's acting like his ear got hurt or something. And then Tony's like, if his ear is hurt, Arn should keep going after it. And he's like, hey, I'm talking like you. Like he's talking to Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobby's like, now you're making sense. Give me $50 and we'll call it even.
Then he says, "Dinner's on you."
Dinner's on you. A good portion of this match is spent with both guys doing slow, methodical, mat-based wrestling, applying holds and submissions, and working body parts, with the ladders being like what Arn's doing generally in this match. Regal occasionally gets a few strikes and holds in, but eventually Arn is taken down to the mat near the 20-minute mark, and Sir William hits him in the throat with the umbrella while Arn's laying there on the apron. And that's when Regal gets control. And then he's doing like cross faces and holds, and Arn can't really rally after that fucking umbrella shot. He stepped outside, and Sir William lines him up and strikes him with the metal handle of the umbrella on the back of his head. And some lady in the front row with her full southern ass drawl goes, "You son of a bitch!" I just started laughing. And I think that's the lady you were hearing, Dubs. That was not Kimberly.
Okay.
Because she yells at various points during this show. But that was
Yeah, she does. It was pretty good.
And then the rest of the match is just more mat wrestling and holds. And then Arn fires up a little bit, and he does a spine buster, but he's not able to cover. And they do this thing where Arn's trying to pull Regal over to a pin, but Sir William extends the umbrella to Regal, who drops down on Arn and holds on to the umbrella for leverage/stability. And Arn can't kick out, and he gets 3.
And it was like 8 seconds left. To be fair, like the match was like kind of slow. Like you said, it was very technical, and definitely didn't need to be as long as it was with the finish they kind of went with.
Yeah.
But those last few minutes, it really picks up. Arn takes over for a bit, and he's like doing these like he's doing this really cool tandem offense where he is putting him in a hold or submission, like a sleeper or different type of, and then he lets go in enough time that he pulls a transition move and then tries to pin him after, or he'll pin him right away. And then he doesn't let up. Like he just keeps trying to do stuff. And just as he looks like he might be able to pull it off, that's whenever Sir William kind of interrupts and gets in the way. That happens repeatedly. Like like it actually picks up steam and it starts to get wild. And this is the second time of 3 times whenever it really picks up and it's getting really fast paced. That is when Bobby yells out how excited he is, and he calls Tony McMahon. And this time it just gets ignored. Like they're just talking too quickly, and he calls him McMahon. And they just move past it.
I just totally missed that the entire show somehow.
Yeah, this one was a total slip if he just got excited and called him McMahon, and they just didn't even acknowledge it. Like the first time, it almost seemed like it could have been an accident or he may have done it on purpose. This was a total accident. And then the third time, which we'll get to later, it kind of seems like he did it on purpose because of what they're talking about, which we'll get there. But I don't know. I really liked how it was fast paced, but then at the end, it just kind of was a wet fart of an ending. And then again, because of how it ended, it's kind of like, well, you could have done that in 15 minutes. You didn't need to make that 30 minutes.
Yeah, my thing is, and what I said, it's the same old tune. They always like drag it out near the end, where it's just like it's running out of time, and either A, it's a draw, or like it's a non-title match. And this one they had 8 seconds to spare with Regal getting the pin, and I think that is just lame. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I knew he was gonna win based off of it being a 30-minute add-on time, because we all know Arn Anderson's a fucking good wrestler and Lord Steven Regal is a fucking good wrestler, so we're gonna get a really long Iron Man type of match. But at the same time, you're just like, well, this belt is gonna be on Regal, and that's fine. But I want to see a match where it's like not going near the end of the time limit.
Yeah, every single match goes near it, or actually was a draw, and that's like in their defense, it didn't go to a draw, which is nice, but it was so close, and then it ended the way it did with kind of a flat ending. It's kind of like, you might as well have just made it a draw at that point. But like any other match we've watched over that title has actually been a draw, and it's always the same thing. The person's getting fired up, and they're so close, but they're just like a step behind. So I'm glad they didn't just repeat the same exact ending, but it just kind of feels like they're going through the motions at that point. There's only one moment like at all in the match that I felt like Arn might actually win, and it was that little bit where he picked up, but they didn't really let him keep it long enough or roll with it in enough weight so that it felt convincing. And that's the kind of especially for how long it went. Like you didn't need that. Like you had the guys that there do rest holds for 15 minutes, and then you had the match that was actually planned out. So yeah, that's the big thing that kept my score down. That, and then just the finish just falling a little flat for what it was.
Yeah, I said it was another flat, kind of boring match almost.
Mm-hmm.
I love both these guys, but this TV title run with Regal is like dull.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish they just like change the framework of these matches is the thing. They don't all have to be like this every time. Like technically speaking, there's nothing wrong with anything that they did. There's no mistakes they made. Every move and hold was executed perfectly.
It's just we've seen it before.
Yeah, and Arn selling and Regal selling especially was great. Like he was selling his ass off. But these matches just feel like they're wading through like fucking quicksand, and then like the finishes are always flat.
Yeah, they feel very predictable, and they're going through the motions. So then there's no reason to like care about it.
Yeah. So I give this a 4.9 out of 10.
Yeah, I balanced it out. I gave it a 5.1.
Yeah, I just gave it an average because, again, I really like these guys. The fucking psychology, man, of Arn and fucking Regal is... And it's funny because Zach, you talked about those people that go, well, old wrestling is just fucking holds and shit. And then like...
I know.
And we're talking about like the holds, and then it was like an okay match, but it was still good because we know how these guys work. And we know that they could fucking do an amazing job. Again,
it was a 30-minute match that did not need... It needed to be 10 to 15 minutes. So that's really what draws it out and makes it so But there is like a very shining 2 or 3 minutes of them competing that is just awesome. Arn does something in this match I just wish modern wrestlers would do more often. I love the idea of putting someone in a sleeper hold long enough to get them disoriented, and then you let them go to then hit them with a move to finish, or you just go ahead and outright pin them, like surprise roll up after you just let them go. You don't always have to just like hold them and then put them to the mat and then try to finish it. I like the disorienting submission into you a move that can potentially end it.
Yeah.
And like letting it finish that way would be cool too. Like it's just a cool thing, and you don't see it very often anymore. So I'd like to see it come back.
At this point, I'm like, man, I feel like this show's dying. And then this next match, we almost saw somebody fucking die. So,
Oh my god, this match is such a roller coaster. Oh,
so it's Cactus Jack and Max Payne against the Nasty Boys, who are champs for the WCW tag team titles. Missy Hyatt's missing, by the way. She's not here.
Yeah,
she had a lip surgery.
Yeah, gum surgery
or gum surgery because Cactus Jack kissed her.
Yeah. They also like brought up the fact because you remember in Fall Brawl, they won and somehow got the title shot, so that's why we are here. Max Payne like started getting ballsy, like his German suplex looked good, and then he just got a little overreacting later on.
Yeah, this match was a bit long, which again, in Nasty's boy, that is like the thing that they are getting known for in WCW right now. Their matches are long as fuck, and they don't need to be. Their matches are always at least 5 to 10 minutes too long, but I thought it was really cool. Like, I mean, really, the first half to 2/3 of this match is just Max Payne and Cactus Jack squashing them. Like Max Payne looked really good at the beginning of this match, and I kept thinking, man, he just keeps getting better and better. I can't wait to get on here and talk shit about this to Dubs. Like, hey, look at him, he's getting better. I wonder what's gonna happen with Max Payne. And then I know we can do the play-by-play, but since we're just going, the chaos and stuff happens. For the most part, they keep the momentum. At one point, the Nasty Boys try to get it back, but they never really get a strong chance to like have the momentum again. Like the match is fairly like solidly dominated by Jack and Payne. At one point, though, they do take Cactus Jack down, and Cactus Jack like reverses and hits them both with a double DDT, and then he doesn't. I made the joke that he went for the greatest kip up of all time. He doesn't actually go for a kip up, but it's in that perfect spot where like Shawn Michaels would do the thing where he does a spot and he would kip up. He's in the position to do that, and he does a flop like he tried to kip up and like. And it was fucking hilarious. I laughed so hard when I saw it, but it definitely wasn't him trying to kip up. It was him like just jolting because he's like drained and he's trying to get himself motivated to get up. It's and then he gets Max Payne in there. Yeah, as Max Payne gets in there, and then he proceeds to give a death suplex to fucking Brian Knobbs. Oh my god, I thought he killed him.
When that happened, I was like, I like audibly was like, oh shit! Like I was like, no.
I was like, oh my god, that's the worst thing ever. Max Payne isn't any better. He just Nia Jaxed him. He fucking dropped him on his fucking head, and he's holding his arm. And I'm not gonna lie, like his arm is kind of limp. It was like I don't know what happened. It looked like he fucking broke his arm. Like I think he actually may have broken his wrist. I don't know. It looked rough.
They slow-moed it. They showed slow-mo from a different angle, and it was like he had his arm out, and it's like when he landed, it's like all of his weight came down on his arm and somehow miraculously prevented him from fucking being pile-driven, like an overhead pile driver or some fucking shit.
Oh, my God. Well, it makes sense. All the fucking force went on his fucking forearm.
Yeah.
It was a nasty fall.
God,
pun intended.
Damn. I haven't, fucking shouted like that in a movie for a long time. That was scary. Terrible. Yeah. Glad he was okay. He basically escaped with, as far as I'm concerned, he got really fucking lucky.
Oh yeah, no, legit. Like could have been paralyzed or worse. Like it actually was
That
bad.
shit happened to Big E last year, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly that. That's actually what I was thinking. Is like that's exactly what happened to Big E with no hand in front of him, and for all we know, like Big E, his career's over. Like he's still out. He hopefully he can come back, but I mean,
Yeah.
if he never wrestled again, I wouldn't be upset because I wouldn't want him to risk, hurting himself further. I mean, we literally could have watched him die last year when it happened.
Yeah.
And again, accidents happen. It is what it is. But man, this looked rough. And you just saw, like, I think a lot of it was Max Payne is getting into things. The Nasty Boys are pretty stiff when they wrestle, and they're not really wrestlers. Actually, it's actually funny when this match first started. Bobby Heenan's talking, and he's like, "Well, out of these four guys, Tony asked him who do you think's gonna win this wrestling match." He's like, "Well, out of the four of them, nobody knows how to wrestle, so I don't know why you keep calling it a wrestling match. I mean, I have no idea who's gonna win. These are just idiots fighting. You might as well pull four guys out of a bar and let them fight." Like he just straight shits on him, and then this happens, and you're like, "Oh well, he had a point." But Max Payne looked like he was getting really confident at first. Like he was pulling some really good moves, like really good power moves. And the crowd's really into him. Like it looked good. I think he just got ahead of himself, and then they're like wrestling kind of stiff, and this bad spot happened. But man, it looks rough. And then he's continuing to try to go. Like Knobs, full credit to him for wanting to still wrestle and like get through it because he had every right to just roll out of the ring and be like, "Fuck this."
I feel like there was a miscommunication there on that move because it's like I'm not saying this is just me speculating because grab the guy like you're going to do belly to belly, but see, there's two ways to do a belly to belly: the side one or the overhead. And I think Knobs was like, okay, he's going to belly to belly me, and he figured sideways. Nope, he did a Scott Steiner thing and fucking muscled him over. And he wasn't prepared for it. So he was like, like right at the last second, he put his arm up.
Let me correct you. He flubbered him over.
He flubbered
him, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I also want to bring this up. Every time Cactus Jack exposed the mat, he never put anybody through. He put himself through every single time.
Sags was the one that did that.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, the Sags did. But I'm still gonna paint it up because it's a setup anyway.
Yeah,
he's always going through the cement. He got power bombed by Vader like 1,000 times, and now he got fucking. He goes on the apron, and every time I see him go, I'm like, oh, he's gonna get hit and he's gonna fall on there. I'm surprised that Mick Foley is not addicted to painkillers. I'm just gonna say that. Like, out of everybody, you had fucking Perk Angle and all that stuff, and fucking Mick Foley, threw himself off of a Hell in a Cell, fucking fell through the fucking panel when he got choke slammed, and he's been fucking whiplashing on cement, in the 90s.
Well, he's like me. He's one of those people that will absolutely not take medicine unless he absolutely has to.
Mm-hmm. So
that's probably why he never got hooked on it. But I'm gonna not do too much play by play because we kind of went over some of it. Just talking about all that shit. The match started pretty good. Max Payne German suplex Knobs out of the ring. He basically went through the fucking ropes when he bounced out. And then Sags was like, all right, I'll get him. And then he fucking tried to kick him and he capture suplex him like that Taz suplex, where he grabs a guy, just scoops him up and throws him over. He did that to him, sending him out of the ring. And then, they fight some more, but it's really just Max Payne beating the shit out of them until he tags Cactus in. And he does a running forearm with a little bit of flying in it. And I was like, whoa. Mick Foley used to be able to jump. Did a body slam, elbow drop, and then Max Payne elbow drops him. It's like they're doing a little bit of tandem offense there. And this keeps going until Knobs and Sags hit like a double team thing. They shoulder block, chop block Max Payne. Then they get him down and they start working his leg. Then he gets his ass kicked for a little bit until he's able to tag Cactus. And then Cactus does come back. He does a big move, knee lift. It's pretty sweet. And that's when the thing happens with the floor being exposed. And he gets out on the apron like he's going to do something. And one of the nasties like just hits him and causes him to like hit the floor. And you hear the splat when he hits the floor.
You see his head hit the fucking floor.
Yeah. And then I think Knobs was out there and he like shoved his head into like the fucking security railing basically after that. And then he's like coughing up blood and like squealing and shit. Like he's doing that squealing thing. Like, where the shit? It was just like unnerving. Gets back in the ring and Knobs is legal, I think, and he puts Boston Crab on him. And then they just hold him in that for a while. And this is like where the match gets kind of fucking dumb. So like they're working over Cactus, and then Max Payne's upset, but Cactus is hanging on. He's not going to tap out. Max comes in and hits Sags instead of Knobs, who's got the crab on him. He walks all the way over across the ring and hits the guy on the apron. And even he's like, "What are you doing? You're hitting the wrong guy."
Calls him out on it. It's pretty funny.
And it gets worse. And so instead of trying to break up the hold again when he gets another chance, he gets in there and he drags Cactus across the ring while he's still in the crab with fucking Knobs on him. So then he gets back over on the apron. And then when he goes to tag him, he uses the arm that's further away from him than the other one. He uses the wrong fucking arm.
And then the ref doesn't see it.
And so like that, he saw it. He fucking saw it, but he knew like he wasn't supposed to see it. So he's like, "You didn't tag in." Like,
yeah.
Yeah. That kind of fucked everything up a little bit. Besides, Knobs almost dying.
Well, I mean that's how what it leads to, right?
Yeah. Cactus does that comeback. It's a double DT that he's able to tag, and then that shit happened. See, Payne puts a painkiller on Knobs, and Cactus tries to cut off Sags from stopping him. He elbows him, and he kind of staggers out of the ring. And they came out with like a guitar, like they were making fun of fucking Max Payne. Like he's got an acoustic guitar. So he grabs it and he pulls Jeff Jarrett before Jeff Jarrett was ever Jeff Jarrett. Runs in there and goes, wham! Like blatantly in front of the referee, just fucking hits Max Payne over the head with the guitar and gets DQ'd. And man, that match was like going in a decent direction, and then some dumb shit happened. I don't know. I still thought it was enjoyable despite that. Give it a 5.6. Almost watched a man die. 5.6 out of 10.
A murder? 5.6. I gave it a 5.3. I was the ending, especially. I mean, I was thrown off by the whole. Oh God, he almost died. That like messed me up, and I was like, oh shit, I hope he's okay. It wasn't his age, but like you'd said near the end. There's just a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would he do all the stuff he does during the spot with the Boston Crab? Why wouldn't you just break it up? Like, you had so many opportunities just to break that up and not risk like not being able to tag in. The ref already knows all the shit that's happening. He's botching that by seeing it. It didn't make any sense the way it was handled. It's dumb.
Babyfaces break
like
up.
Idiot.
Babyfaces break up moves all the time. Not every single time, but they do it. So there was no restriction. He could have done it. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's just I think too hard. All the brain cells were burned trying to make the fucking animations for. Oh fuck! I had a stroke. I don't remember what I was talking about. Skulls on pants.
Skull dramas.
Skull Jamas. That's actually really good. I like that.
I had it at a 5.5, but then it just fucking went down. And I was like, what is happening? I almost saw a dude die. Like that's
Murder.
that was scary. That's worse than Jimmy Snuka's murder, probably. Actually, no, he actually killed someone. But I digress. I give it a 5.1 out of 10.
Yeah. So we got another Mean Gene backstage segment. He's back there with Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair, and then Gene brings up the fact that a good friend of his, Hulk Hogan, is watching the show tonight from his house.
And it begins.
It begins. And then Flair
Brother.
says if him and Hogan hook up, it'll be the biggest thing in professional sports, not sports entertainment. He's looking at Vader like he's an obstacle that he has to remove. And Steamboat kind of says some of the same shit he said earlier for some reason. And then Orange shows up and he basically encourages Flair, like, get him, brother. So that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Then we got this match, the first Thundercage match. We got Ravishing Rick Rude, Stunning Steve Austin, Paul Orndorff with Colonel Rob Hart, or whatever the fuck you called him earlier.
Doug Dimmadome?
Dimmadome, yeah. Versus Sting, Dustin Rhodes, and Flying Brian Pillman. I'm like, and they all get in the ring and they kind of like assume positions like it's going to be a tag match. I'm like, okay, I thought this was all going to be at the same time, but they're going to actually try to have a tag match.
It's so like it's lame. Like I understand they have a cage so that they can't technically, like the heels can't go down the ramp and leave and do like crazy dumb shit. But at the same time, like this match is one, the crowd is loving it because fucking they're popping for Sting, popping for Dustin, and popping for Brian Pillman and all that stuff. But at the same time, it kind of feels like a fucking Saturday night just with a cage in there, and it's okay. Like it's fun, it's fine, but like it's another long match of. I do have to say this, Steve Austin. Fucking, I love his selling in his match, dude. Like, he's getting thrown in the fucking cage. His leg is getting stuck through the hole. He's like hanging and shit.
He
like,
took some rough bumps.
He looked like good, like getting beat up.
That's what actually I thought was really dumb about this match, though. Right before you brought up Steve Austin, again. In a cage like this, it should just be all out. It's no holds barred. Like, they're following tag rules. It should just be fucking tornado crazy nonsense. It doesn't make any sense you're having a regular match inside a big cage. It just doesn't make any sense.
So they don't run away and pussy out. That's it.
I mean,
that's what the old cage match used to be. It wasn't like big, giant, oh my God, we're going to break all the rules. It was... I got the heel in the fucking cage, and he can't get away. And that's the big difference between cage match psychology between WWF and everybody else. The whole point of their cage match. Thing,
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're good.
I was gonna say, like their whole psychology behind the cage match was always escape, even like from way back in the day.
The old blue cage. Yeah, that was the biggest thing. Which again, you're right. The whole point of a cage match was supposed to be you can't escape. WWF always made that weird because like escaping was actually a win condition.
Yeah,
and it never was. I get that part. Well, that's the whole point. Is that if you're already in that spot where you could use the cage as a weapon, and you have all this, it just doesn't make sense to be following all the other like more cordial rules of a tag team match. So it just feels kind of like not planned out very well, which it's not. I mean, that's the whole point. But like you said, the crowd's super into this. Like, and on paper, this match should be better than what it was. Like, I'm not saying it was terrible. It was a good match, and it was fun. But like on paper, just seeing the people that are in this match, it's like, oh, this should have been so much better.
It's a toss-up match. Like any team could have won because they did the thing like. I know we're jumping around a lot, but like Sting, Brian Pillman, and Dustin's team wins, but like fucking Rick Rude just slams the fucking cage and fucking Sting, and they look like they're on top when they leave. So it's like it's a toss up. Whoever wins, and it doesn't really matter. It's just I guess it's to bring the crowd down before the main event. I guess even though the crowd was fucking wild.
I guess that was something to keep Rude's heat. Like, they lost, but he got his comeuppance a little bit on Sting,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it.
Now, is Rude still the champion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. He didn't have the belt with him.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Him and fucking Steve Austin didn't have their titles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't feel like bringing him out there.
Oh, that's right, because Steve Austin has the U.S. title.
Mhm.
Yep.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it was a little strange. I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, well, he's wearing the pants with the belt, but why doesn't he have the belt with him?
Because the belt's on his pants. You didn't fucking bring it out.
Well, I don't want to lose it in the Thunder Cage, I guess. I can't trust fucking Doug Dimmadome. He'll run off with it. Damn it.
He'll buy more slaves.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't have a lot of notes because it gets to a point where it gets really crazy and it's hard to keep up because the pace is so fast.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you have this normal tag match, but then chaos ensues, and you're just like, should have been no DQ. It should have been tornado.
I guess it's like I don't mind that aspect of it much because I understand this because it's like literally everybody else did a cage match this way. Only WWF did that stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, but it's the way the chaos ensues. Like, the referee should have got a handle on it if he didn't want it to be all crazy.
That's my point, is that they try to treat it like a regular match. Chaos happens, but then they're like, oh, whatever. But then they like randomly, sporadically just decide, well, we'll follow order again. But nobody gets DQ'd. It just doesn't make any sense.
But hang on, that happens in every 6-man tag match. They always break down if it's got big guys in it. That always happens.
I guess.
I don't know.
It does.
Okay, maybe, but it looks a lot weirder. Hat on a hat, right? We talked about that. Like, this feels a little hat on the hat. Like, it looks a little weirder with a cage around it. I don't know. Maybe my weird brain is trained to see cage and think, oh, they should be like beating the piss out of each other against the cage and constantly. Nobody should be holding tag ropes. But I don't know. Just the way I see it, I guess.
But it's funny too because when we get into the main event, like, fucking Big Boss Man fucking tries to count out fucking Vader. I don't know if that was a botch or anything because he starts going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
He's not a referee.
Well,
He's
there's
a
not
corrections
even
officer.
there's not even anything to like take from that because Boss is immediately in there holding nightsticks and shit. Like, I don't even know what that is, but we'll get there in a second. Yeah.
Sting and Rude starts off, they lock up, and then Rude's sneaky. He does a gut kick, and then they start fighting. And Sting hits a clothesline and a backdrop and a clothesline and a clothesline and a clothesline and a clothesline. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't know. Sting can do like 5 clotheslines. It's just awesome. I don't know why.
Yeah. He's like the opposite of the Beverly Brothers.
Especially when he's like Orange Crush Sting, when he does that color scheme.
Orange Crush.
But a lot of stuff is happening really fast, and then Austin and Pillman have like a really quick, hard exchange. Like, Pillman slaps the fucking piss out of him, and then Austin stun guns him on the cage. Like he hits the cage head first, and he's bleeding.
Got some color.
Got some color. And then Orndorff is beating his ass. He does a spicy back suplex. I say it's spicy because it looks like he almost dropped him on his fucking head. And they're getting heat on Brian. That keeps going for a while. And then Austin goes to the top rope to do something, but then Pillman just jumps up and drop kicks him right in the fucking face. Brian tags Sting. Orndorff comes in, and then Sting clears the house again and launches Orndorff outside. And then Sting blasts Paul's head against the Thunder Cage. Now he's bleeding. 2 colors. Sting tags Dustin in, and he does some funky like a monkey fucking offense and does the fucking bionic elbow shit and stuff, and he's having fun.
Yeah, he does like a fucking a dick thrust.
He does a dick thrust. Paul crossed to the wrong corner after all that shit. Well, before that, he grabs Dustin by the trunks because he's just getting his ass kicked, and he just kind of slingshots him into the turnbuckle face first. and he's all fucked up and disoriented because this guy's ass kicked. So he's like going to the wrong corner, and then he's like, oh, and then he goes back to the other corner. And he tags Rude in. Dustin's not able to like tag in time, but then he realizes, oh shit, it's a guy on me, so he starts punching him, and he goes for a bulldog. But Rude picks him up and sends him nut sack first into the turnbuckle, splitting it in twain. Then he does a back suplex, top rope back suplex. It's sweet. And then it just goes fucking crazy after that. Pillman gets hot tag, does a big comeback. It was awesome. And then Sting press slams Pillman onto Austin for 3. That's how they win.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just brawling outside some more. And then Rude gets pissed and tries to leave and slams the door in Sting's face, like you were saying. And then he hits a Rude awakening on Sting, and he's just like, ow. It's just like there, like holding it out.
Don't touch me.
I thought it was fun. Austin bumped his ass off again, and like you mentioned, that spot where he like got launched into the cage and his like leg got stuck in it or some shit. Could have easily broke his leg or some shit, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I gave us a 6.9 out of 10. It was just fun chaos bullshit. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, I gave this a 5.7 out of 10. I had fun, but at the same time, I was just like, it's a toss-up for me. I just didn't care for it because all these feuds I do want to see. I just don't want to see it in a 6-man tag. I want to see Sting versus fucking Rick Rude, which I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting soon.
Yep.
Dustin and Paul Orndorff, I think we've seen that before.
You're doing it again.
They're doing it again, which I don't mind. Maybe Dustin will get his revenge. And then Pillman versus Stunning Steve Austin, I think is going to be cool. It just sucks that it's they're on their way out pretty much soon.
Yeah. Whew. So, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 6.6.
Oh.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, again, it's hard to not like all the guys that are involved in the ring. I had some problems a little bit with the consistency or the logic of it, but I realized too, like, I'm watching WCW, I shouldn't think too hard. I'm not reading Ulysses, it's fine. Right? Like, it just is what it is. Can't overthink it.
Give us a recap of the feud with Vader and Sting, or not Sting, Vader and Flair. And I'm still thinking about Sting. And they fill in some of the stuff we missed from not having Saturday night or anything. And then we go to the match. It's Flair and Vader with Harley Race in the Thunder Cage with the Boss. I'm still going to call him Big Boss, man. I don't give a shit.
Trailer.
I want to say this because I forgot to mention it before. But when they were talking about Vader throwing chairs and stuff, Bobby Heenan's like, "Oh no, that was Harley Race."
Yeah.
Fucking Thurman Merman.
Yeah.
If you noticed before this match started, and this happened a few times during the night, there's like shots of these random hot fucking women like standing around the front row.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, do you know why they keep doing that?
No.
I know why.
Why?
Because Eric Bischoff is in charge right now. And he thinks it would be cool if you got random models to stand around and you can shoot them to look like they're part of the crowd. And it'll make people think that WCW is happening, brother.
Uncle Eric trying to get
attractive
them
women
titties.
are there, so we must be watching.
Yeah, not that bitch going like, "You son of a bitch!" in the front row. Like, fucking... Oh, Jesus. Or that one chick who was like painted up and had like the Sting shirt, and she was not conventionally attractive, we'll just say.
Yeah, she had a lot of layers. She's like a fucking KFC parfait. You remember those back in the day?
Oh, Lord.
God damn, I miss those.
All right, so
you gotta. What did we say earlier? I think I got it. You gotta fuck a parfait to appreciate a slave. Is that?
Yes.
I don't know how that adds up. You want to talk about weird fucking logic? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I got my stuff mixed up a little bit, but
they're in the ring, and then Vader tries to body block Flair, but then Flair dodges and he pokes him in the eye, and that was amazing. That was an amazing start. He just goes, but Flair starts going ape shit. He starts punching and chopping and shit. And he actually sends Vader outside to the floor, like he hits him with an elbow. He does a Judas. But he does it better than Chris Jericho because it causes some guy to fly out of the ring who's like 400 fucking pounds. And then Flair grabs that chair laying out there that Vader had that he was fucking with, and he hits him twice. He did it correctly too. But the best part was when he hit him the second time, the chair back popped out of the chair and went flying. And it was like, well, that was cool. Cool visual. He hit him so hard the chair fucking exploded. And like Flair's on a roll, and he keeps, punching him and shit, firing off, and he pulls Vader's mask off. He's like, damn, he's kind of kicking his ass. And then he throws Vader in the opposite corner, and that's when shit changes because Vader does a Ric Flair move, and he fucking flips over the turnbuckle, lands on the apron. He like waits for Flair, and he goes, boom! He goes down. Then he goes in there and he starts doing Vader shit. Big fat man elbow drop, the front slam shit, and the Vader bomb. And then Flair started doing his taser selling. Like he starts screaming and all that stuff. And he's like throwing him into the other corner. And he goes, Vader's doing like crazy shit I've not ever really seen him do. He goes to do a moonsault. And he doesn't quite land on his feet, but he lands in like a crouching position. I was like, how the fuck did he do that without causing his fucking shins to explode or something?
And then, yeah, he didn't even like fully go down in Batman pose. He kind of like landed, crouched, and then got right back up and like ran right into Flair. It was really smooth.
Well, that's because he's better than Sid Vicious.
Well,
no shit.
I was never going to argue. Goldberg!
By the way, since we're gonna need that to close the show. So anyway,
yeah. Let's see. Flair is thrown out of the ring, and this is where Harley starts interfering. He starts choking Flair through the cage, and he picks him up at some point, and just punches him right in the bridge of the nose, like bam. It's a pretty good looking punch.
Yeah, then he headbutts him. Fucking shit.
Yeah. He did a better headbutt than the fucking assassin did with his little gimmick shit.
Fucking Chris Benoit's ass. They didn't have to jump for it.
Then Flair gets back in the ring because Vader throws him back in over the top rope. And then he does the top rope superplex. He's trying to cripple him. And then this is funny, Vader goes for 2 elbow drops and he misses both of them. That's when I think that's when Harley headbutts him. You're talking about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I jumped ahead. That's actually when he headbutts him. He gets outside, and then all chaos breaks out. That's when the match just gets all a little absurd.
Yeah, Boss Man catches him, and he's like, "Hey!" He finally caught him, and then like he's gonna like handcuff Harley to the cage, but then Vader stops him, and they beat him up, and they handcuff Boss Man to the cage instead.
Yeah, how ridiculous is that logic? Hey, you're interfering in this match. We literally have a cage here to prevent you. And instead of kicking him out, he's like, "Oh, I'll just handcuff you to the cage. That'll fix it."
Why doesn't a cop have a key to his own handcuffs?
It was on his little key necklace that they stole from him.
I mean, there's so many questions about what happens next in relation to this cage. Why did Ricky Steamboat try to break a lock with like the end of a chair? What the absolute fuck was going on?
I mean, he wasn't going to use the Asiatic throat thrust to break it. I mean, but
apparently, he and Nick Bockwinkel were working out a really good deal, and they said you can only use the edge of the chair to break this metal. And he's like, "All right, that's what I'll do."
Yeah, Boss Man got swerve. The cop got handcuffed. I just want to point out at this point, Heenan said, "Boss Man is so dumb he couldn't find a phone in a phone booth." It's pretty funny. I don't know why. I just thought that was funny.
I think I may have missed it already. It either happened here or a little closer to the end. But in all of this chaos is the third and final time that Bobby calls Tony McMahon. But this time it seems like it's relevant because also throughout this match they've peppered in. They keep talking about Hulk Hogan.
That's probably fucking tripping him up too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like they keep repeatedly, like Bobby keeps repeatedly talking about Hogan. Tony keeps saying Hulk Hogan. Like they even bring up the movie set he's on. Like it couldn't be more obvious. Like they've signed him and they're about to bring him in. So it's what it is. But I just thought it was funny. It seems more like he's legitimately excited. He doesn't mean to call him McMahon, but he just can't help it.
It's habit.
Yeah, exactly. He's excited.
See, they steal Boss Man's keys after this, and then Harley lets himself in the cage and locks everybody else out. And then the passion of the Nate starts. They start beating the shit out of him. And like Boss Man's fucking handcuffed to the cage. He's like screaming and shit. He's trying to get out.
Yeah, he's trying to do that thing. If you ever seen the show Cops, where the guy is like handcuffed, he's like, "I'm gonna break out of these cuffs."
Except he actually did it.
Yeah.
The Flair, he actually gets to fight back a little bit here, and even Harley does a little bit of funny selling. Like he took like some kind of bump and flipped and did like the Shawn Michaels thing where he's standing on his head. And he's like, "What is he, like fucking 60?" He also took a crazy ass bump where he flew out of the ring. He did like a backflip. Like, Jesus, dude, I thought you were retired. What the fuck?
Not that retired.
Apparently not. Yeah. I think this is where Boss Man breaks the handcuffs and he gets in there and he tries to even the odds up. And then Flair takes Vader down and puts him in the figure four. And I guess because he pissed Boss Man off, he said he submitted and gave Flair the win.
Yeah, he just fucking screw jobbed him, and then Bobby's like, "He didn't submit. The boss just ended the match. This is bullshit."
No, my favorite part is Vader goes up to Bobby Heenan and Tony and says, "You call this justice?"
He's like got the nightstick. I think he almost hit a fan because he like hit the fucking the railing there.
I love it. They're calling it, and they as soon as Vader gets up. Like from the position, he gets up and he's all pissed. And Tony's like, he looks unhappy, and I am not sticking around for this. And then Bobby's like, "What do you mean you're not sticking around?" He's like, "Ah, shit, you're leaving him with me." Oh man,
and he's like,
it's pretty funny.
He's like, "Get the commissioner out right now." And he's like, "I don't think that's gonna happen."
We're out of time, folks. Bye. He's like, "What are you saying?" It was all right match. It just turned into an angle.
That's the problem with it. It just like completely devolved as an actual match.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. I like the build of the story.
Yeah.
I like that they made it all serious. Even the part where the commissioner was like, you're not cleared, and then Ric Flair calls like, "Hey, I'm going to get the documents in order to be in this match, but even if I can't get cleared, I will be there, and me and Vader will be seeing each other at Super Brawl." So I did like that. Right when I saw a Big Boss Man as the referee, I'm like, "Oh, there's going to be some fuckery going on here." Especially when he's twirling his fucking nightstick, like he said, and stuff. I was like, "You're bringing a foreign object into the cage."
He's wearing his fucking like officer shit. He's got the nightstick in hand one, and they put the other nightstick in his pocket, and then he's got the fucking key to the cage lock around his neck, like he's a fucking middle school gym teacher. Like, like it's so fucking weird.
Yeah, he does the obvious. The heels are gonna get my key eventually. Thing where he's like, "Here's the object. Here's the MacGuffin that I'm putting around my neck."
Yeah. Oh. It was a good. I would say it was a at minimum 7 out of 10, if not like probably 7.5 out of 10 match until it just devolved into nonsense. So because it did that, and like that's just what pretty much all of this card was to some degree, I had to cut it down a little bit. So I ended up giving it a 6.7 in total. Like it was still pretty good, especially for the people that are in it, but it just got a little campy and weird toward the end. I don't know. Could have been better.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
I gave it a 6.7.
Yay!
I kind of feel the same way. It's just, like I said, it's shaping up to be a pretty good match, and then it turned into an angle. And
I had fun. It's not like night and day, people. We watch ECW and then we watch this.
Oh yeah.
Like it's definitely night and day. Like it was a breath of fresh air watching this. If we watched this on its own, I think I would have came out. See, maybe some scores would have been a little off a little bit if I didn't see ECW. But I still stand by my ratings because it was good. It was good to see wrestling.
Actual wrestling.
Yeah, actual wrestling.
So my notes, final thoughts is like this show is disappointing after Starrcade '93. Because that ended on a pretty good note, and it was a solid show. And so many things took place that felt like they should have been on TV, or like a buffer between bigger matches taking place on a different show. I'm like, this is Super Brawl, not Clash of Champions. Why does it feel so fucking half-assed?
Mm-hmm.
I saw the credits, and I always pay attention to the credits roll when the show's over. And I'm pretty sure the booking has changed again, because Virgil Runnels was not credited as the show director. Somebody else was. And
baby. You give him next time.
Maybe he was doing it last time at Starrcade. He ain't doing it now. So he was just wrestling personnel. That's what he was listed as. So he turned into a fucking agent, I guess. And yeah, they're teasing the Hogan shit. And that ball's going to get rolling in March, which we're going to skip because unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, there's no WCW programming in March.
Yeah.
Yep.
5.3 out of 10.
Yeah. Overall, Bobby, like, it's kind of strange. If Bobby Heenan wasn't there as like a color commentating, and it was Jesse Ventura, I think the overall would have been a little bit down. We would probably be a little bit disappointed.
Be a little lower, yeah. I think.
But Bobby's there. We had a couple of good matches. I want to say this, even though it was another angle and a funny thing, but Michael P.S. Hayes, like, I love that. That's the highlight of the night for me, of him being like, I really want to get in there and beat his ass. He's on the fucking wheelchair. It's kind of like when you call out sick at work at like a minimum wage job, and then you come in the next day, be like, man, I really wanted to come to work, but I was too damn sick. I was throwing up. Like,
or better yet, like they catch you out in public the same day later, and it's like, yeah, I really wanted to come in, but I was feeling so bad this morning, but I feel better now. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like, man, yeah, I had the bubble guts. I was fucking shitting my brains out. It's like, why are you at Taco Bell right now? Well, I just, I feel a little better, and I need to make sure I'm good enough to come back to work. It's like,
yeah, I got to cleanse my system, so I got some Taco Bell.
Iron sharpens iron. Haven't you ever heard?
But yeah, I was entertained more than ECW, obviously. So I'm going to be a little bit higher. I'm giving this a 6.1 out of 10.
Yeah, I originally had this a little bit lower, but now talking about it, yeah, I actually was thinking, oh, I'm disappointed, and yeah, in the scope of where we've been at in WCW, I am, but yeah, now talking things out, I do feel more positive. There were a lot more positives. God damn it, Bobby Brain Heenan. Like, if you're considering everything in wrestling as a whole, like just all figures of wrestling, whether it's a wrestler, announcer, manager, whatever, he's got to be on like the Mount Rushmore. Like, he just makes whatever he's involved in so much better.
Yeah,
What
for
a
sure.
goddamn treasure! Oh man, we miss him. I initially had this rated at just a clean 5.5, but I think I'm gonna bump up. I'm gonna go 5.8.
All right.
Bump it up 5.5.
All right.
Uh,
For
For context, because I want to say this real quick, I gave Super Brawl 3 a 7.3 out of 10 from last year.
Yeah, so we're still being critiqued, but what we had to go through.
Yeah.
I think we were just surprised that we actually were entertained, and we're not shitting on 2 shows in a row.
The grass
No.
is always greener, right?
Yeah,
You don't know
Yeah.
what you got till it's gone.
the grassy knoll.
Cinderella.
Was it a good show? Yeah.
Eh.
Not really. Was it bad? Yeah.
No.
It was fine. It was a fine show, but it was gold compared to the schlock of garbage we watched before.
The rotten hot dog casing. That was the line was crossed.
It wasn't hot dog. Someone was trying to feed us. It was fucking vermin. Fucking rat on a stick.
It's like vomit sausages.
Hmm.
So the next getting some color, we're doing WrestleMania 10.
Such good shit.
Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. I'm fucking happy.
I'm excited too. This is a good WrestleMania.
Yep.
Chico. This
One
could
of
be
the
good.
best.
Oh, this is the ladder match too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is the Shawn Michaels Razor Ladder match.
Oh god, this is so good. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
seriously, this is one of the best WrestleManias of all time. It's always like when you look at it in general, it's always like in that top 5 argument. So I'm excited. It's pretty good.
Yep. So remember to watch that, and then we will come back and discuss it. Fucking WrestleMania. I'm happy for that. But until next time, guys, catch us on all podcast services. We're on YouTube. We're on 2 channels now, Getting Some Color and Couch Entertainments. And until next time, everybody, remember to get some color. See you guys next week.
Don't cross the line.
Brother.